This is Boston's home for sports.
He scored! What a blast by Boston!
Waiting, Holiday three. Good night!
Oh! WBZFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Make it 10 straight losses for the Bruins after they came up short in Montreal last night, 4-1. The Bruins did get a goal from Elias Lindholm, but that was after they were already down 3-0. Jeremy Swayman said the effort in front of him was far better than the result.
Yeah, I felt good, and again, I just was thriving off the guys in front of me. You know, D-men I thought did a good job of boxing out and making sure I saw the shots, and forwards were pushing out, taking away lanes from the D-men coming out. So something that I think we have a lot of positives, and we need to really jot them down and move forward with them.
They have only 6 games left in their season now. They play Carolina at TD Garden tomorrow night. Celtics had last night off after getting their 9-game winning streak snapped by Miami on Wednesday. They'll play Phoenix at TD Garden this evening. Jaylen Brown is questionable. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Kevin Durant has a sprained ankle. He is not expected to play for the Suns tonight. The Red Sox finished their season-opening road trip with a record of 3-4 yesterday. They beat the Orioles in Baltimore 8-4. Alex Bregman, Tristan Casas, and rookie Christian Campbell all homered. Sox play the home opener today against St. Louis. Walker Buehler will get the start. Patriots made a trade yesterday, sending third-string quarterback Joe Milton and a 7th-round draft pick to Dallas in exchange for a 5th-round selection. Sports Illustrated is reporting that although there were some conversations with other teams, the Cowboys were the only offer the Patriots had for Milton, and they took it. And the Raiders assigned quarterback Geno Smith to a 2-year, $75 million contract extension. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Boston plays here.
Pressure, half court, it's in the air. Go! He got it! He did it again!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
When has that been necessary to fact check?
and Hardy
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
on 98.5.
Hey there.
Sarge GPT booting up.
Let me hear you say, boo, boo, boo.
Crush me, mommy!
Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the Pope.
I'm a goddamn dragon!
Yeah, good luck, dude.
Nothing like a good tushy.
I love you, and I think you know that.
Excuse me?
Toucher and Hardy
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fun and having some fun.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
And look at you now, stupid. You look at you now.
Yeah.
You're going to be treading water.
Let me double check the weather on Saturday.
Bad.
Yeah. There's a reason why Milo's game was canceled, you see.
Well, it was also a circumstance. They had an exhibition today and a league game tomorrow, and so they got rid of the exhibition game today and moved the league game to today.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but it might not be raining. That you have.
Just, mid-40s and raw.
That's fine.
what time is the game?
The game is at 4, I believe. National game, I believe. I don't know. I'm making that up.
Oh, okay.
Does Fox do national games this early in the season?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know either. But let's just say they do.
Okay.
So there you go. I pulled them off. You can't have them anymore.
Yeah.
I'd let you all know they were up there, and you all turned your back on them. Now come Saturday, you're going to be sitting in dump seats where you can't fit. Because, by the way, behind the Red Sox dugout is way worse seats in terms of comfortableness
Yeah.
than behind the visitor dugout. I'm not kidding either. And they face the wrong way, too. The visitor dugout, because we always want to be by the visitor dugout because who cares about the Red Sox players, right? You want the visiting team. You want like an Ohtani or a Trout or we're Cardinal fans, so you want, someone from there. Mm-hmm. You don't, and if my son wears like a Cardinal thing, players are very apt to throw him a ball.
Oh, yeah.
And he's still in that mindset. He's a sophomore in high school, but he still won a ball.
Do you have the Cardinals uniform? Does he have?
He wears the whole uniform. He wears the pants
he have
and
the
the sleeves.
Stirrup pants.
Does he have a Jordan Walker shirt that he sports? What?
He has an old vintage Ozzy. You can see it on my Instagram. He's an old, I gave him one Christmas. He asked for it, but a vintage powder blue Ozzie Smith throwback. Not a jersey though. I wouldn't. Well, I guess back then they were the jerseys because they wore those V-neck like kind of t-shirty kind of things.
Yeah.
So like maybe it is. I mean, it wasn't a $250 jersey because those look ridiculous. I've told the story on the air before, but look, it's been 20 years. I got to tell you a story once or twice. But one game we were at, which was one of the Ohtani games, there's Ohtani I don't think was pitching this particular one because when he was, there was just a wave of Asian women, like young Asian women that would, in between every inning, rush down to the dugout with posters in Japanese calling for him. And he would never look up. He never looked up. But I thought this guy could have any Japanese woman. And there were thousands in that stadium. I mean, like, he could have had them all. They all loved him so much. But he ignored them. He chose to ignore them. And there was this guy, though, and there was this line of adolescent boys, I would say, lining up, and he had somehow smuggled a van into Fenway, and he had candy and puppies. There was this guy, and he was like shaved beard, like he didn't have any facial hair or anything, and he had an Angels cap, an Angels like button down jersey, and white pants on, and I thought, oh. But he was an adult, and I thought, oh, well, that's nice of his handler to take him to the game. They must be doing an event where they're taking, guys maybe of adults that maybe are more a little childlike, and they're taking them in terms of their mentality, and they're taking them to games. But no. And this guy, Big League Milo too. He's a guy that goes stadium to stadium, and they video him, and he gets balls. That's his big thing. And he was hot for a minute there. And you say, Fred, what else does he do? No, nothing. He goes to stadiums, and they film him getting balls from players or catching a home run or foul balls. And then he has like a room at his apartment or house that is filled with thousands of balls from Major League games.
I'm betting apartment. If I had to guess, I'm betting apartment.
I read a story about him, and he was like monetizing it pretty successfully, but I gotta figure that that's not a thing very much anymore.
If he was in a house, he's in an apartment now. Maybe I should qualify that.
Yeah, and he was like, Milo went up to him, and he's like, all right, quick, because I'm filming. And it's like, all right, you dick. You should be, how long is this going to be happening? For you, and I'll look him up. Foul ball baseball guy. Yeah, Zack Hample is his name.
Oh, nice.
Zack Hample. He's a man of 38 years old. He was raised in New York City.
Oh.
He was the son of author, performer, playwright, and cartoonist Stu Hample. Maybe that's something that you guys can talk about next time you talk to the coach of the Celtics. He played D3 baseball. Huh. He hoped to play Major League Baseball.
It didn't happen for him?
No, not coming out of D3 Guilford Quakers. No, they were not recruiting him out of there.
I feel like he got in some sort of trouble a couple of seasons ago, Fred. Like there was some sort of controversy around what he was doing.
The Fort Bragg game.
Yes.
That's 2016, and incidents with players at Hample's aggressive tactics have resulted in widespread criticism from players, sports writers, and others. He's been accused of bumping multiple fans and most notably children out of the way to attempt to catch balls. The New York Post referred to him baseball most hated fan. Clayton Kershaw refused to give Hample a ball prior to a Dodgers game, claiming Hample had already caught 7,000 prior. In 2022, a Colorado's Rockies usher witnessed an incident in which a coach threw a ball to a young fan who then dropped it. Hample grabbed the ball.
That's the one I'm remembering.
As he walked away, the usher asked why he didn't give the ball to the child, and Hample replied, because it's my ball. He dropped it, so it's my ball.
Yeah. He's a maniac.
Jackass is what he is.
But how did he monetize this? Oh, in 2022, a documentary. So this is around the time Milo was probably 2022.
Okay.
A documentary titled Zack Hample vs. the World was released. It was written and directed and all this by Jeff Siegel. It was filmed over 8 years. The documentary was reviewed by 3 critics. One of them was ComingSoon.net, gave it an 8 out of 10, saying that it entertains thanks to its engaging subject matter.
One of them was his playwright father.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway.
How about that?
There's some fun photos of him. There's one where he's in a bathtub, and it's all filled with baseballs. He's like bathing in a baseball bubble bath, and that's fun. That I like.
I can't believe this guy still isn't, like, top of mind for everybody.
He lives on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. That can't be his own money. That has to be a little bit of family money.
Yeah.
But he looks, he's my age, but he looks like a little boy, kind of. And he dresses in the whole uniform of the team. Again, I thought something else was going on. You see an adult in a uniform who's, like, begging for balls. You figure something, that maybe this is a Make-A-Wish thing. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, maybe this is, like, a thing where, like, this is, like, let's take Johnny out to the ball game, whatever. But no, he had a cameraman with him.
The fact that he actually big-timed Milo, I find mind-boggling.
Yeah, and
thinks so much of himself for doing this with his life.
Listen, John, this was before the pitch clock. It was only a 3-hour game. And every moment was critical to him. What if that was the moment he was going to get a ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
got to be on alert at all times.
Yeah. So I question what he's doing. He's known for collecting baseballs.
Well, he's doing the thing. He's doing the thing ultimately. Either do it or don't do it. He's doing it. You understand?
Yep.
Nothing in moderation.
He's
John.
all in.
Yeah.
He's all in with that lifestyle. I wonder if he's still all in with that lifestyle, or if he's actually stepped back and taken a look at what he's done with himself the last decade.
I think after the 7th or 8th year, you realize this is what you are and this is what you become.
Whether you like it or not, you just kind of like, all right, I'll do it.
This is what I do now.
Yeah.
It's weird enough that you started doing it in the first place. Yeah, like building a career doing something. It's weird that he started doing it in the first place. And then it's even stranger that he started filming it, and then it's an indictment on society that it became a thing. But I haven't heard about him in a long time. My son has not referred to him.
He's still active on. I'm looking at his Instagram right now. He's very happy that the Rays are playing at the Yankees spring training
Steinbrenner
facility.
Field.
That's a new ballpark he can go catch balls in that he hasn't been to before. So he's very happy.
How many likes and everything did the last video get?
He's got 155 comments and it's just a photo. He's got 120,000 followers, but this is Instagram.
120,000? Oh, that's not. I mean, he can't. That's not making.
But he might be a big TikTok guy though. Like a lot of times. A lot of these influencers are huge on TikTok, and then their Instagram numbers aren't as big.
I would have to imagine, though, you have to have several million TikTok followers to make a living at it and live on the Upper West Side. I mean, I would think that there's only a handful of people where that becomes an Upper West Side situation where even though is the Upper West Side even the place to live anymore? Because that's where the Oh Hello guys live. Is the Upper West Side.
Well, but they were in a rent-controlled there, I believe.
They were in a rent-controlled. It's funny, every time I'm at that Cold Springs Park, which is a lot walking the dog, I will see women walking very slowly in the middle of the parking lot with tote bags. And I always think of the Oh Hello guys, and I can think of how they came up with it. They might as well have been in Newton. Just thinking it's just these, academic types, but are they really academic types in that they do nothing with their minds except go to the library and glare at traffic? Because I drop Zoe off to the tutor every Monday at 3:30, so it's during the workday for a tutor for an hour, and there's a lot of angry men and women coming in there with tote bags and corduroys.
Yeah.
And you know about those women, what don't they do?
They don't dye their hair.
Gray and all over the place.
No, good.
Yeah, they're footloose and fancy free.
No, they're wearing very, very supportive shoes, as a matter of fact.
Not a care in the world.
They're not footloose. Oh, they have a lot of care in the world. They don't like you or me or anyone.
I think you're jealous.
Well, that's the retirement goal. I'm saving. I'm watching my pennies so I can go and become someone who lives year-round in Newton and frequents the library.
I thought you would upgrade and
say
go to
library?
Brookline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it's a nice library in Newton.
Oh,
Probably
it's a fine
several
Yeah, it's
of
very
them.
nice.
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's a main branch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the main branch is in Newton Center. The one on there's one in Auburndale, but I think you have to live in Auburndale's a whole thing. They have like a community like situation with like tennis courts because we used to have like the Little League meetings there when I was on the board. But you can't join unless you live in Auburndale.
12 different networks for the Newton libraries. Are they part of the Minuteman? Are they part of something
Yes, they
else?
are part of. I
They
can
are
tell
part
you.
of the Minuteman. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I used to have a library card for my kids when my son used to go and get books on rocks, and then they would sit in the car until I took them back.
You could still have a library card, Fred. It's good to have.
It's ageless. You can
Yeah.
get it whenever you want.
Never know when you might need it.
I'm a friend who's here with his daughter and another girl, and my daughter Zoe's here today because they're doing a high school project. Zoe's in middle school, but her friends are doing a high school project on the show. I don't know what they're doing. I'm a little
in here a few minutes ago.
I'm a little taken aback because Hardy informed me that they were using AI to text me and to email me,
we don't
which I
like
was
that.
a little
Oh,
taken
boy.
aback by.
I theorize that's what they were doing.
But I think you hit the nail on the head is because there were these overly formal emails because I've known this girl. I won't name her because in case it embarrasses her.
One of the girls is waving her hands furiously at me right now. Look, lie to your father. Don't lie to me. Did you use AI
It
to
was
text
AI.
Fred?
Because I've known this girl since she was like 3 years old, and they would be like, "Good sir, thank you so much. We are looking to please, if we could, have a moment of your time."
With
We hope
apologies
this
for
email
the
finds you well.
yes, with apologies for the hour of this missive.
Yeah, exactly.
I
We
implore
won't take up
upon
too
you.
much. We won't take up too much of your time.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can read you one of them. Hi, Fred. This is. No, this one. The text that they sent is in their own voices, but there
Okay.
were some emails that I think are AI generated. But Hardy got me into on that.
It's
so now if
emphatic.
Zoe pulls any of this BS, I'll know immediately.
No, she's emphatic that the big hand movement. No.
Well, then it
Not
can't. Then it can't be true.
Well, if the kids are using AI for writing emails, we might have to rejigger Sarge GPT. That might be a
Show them the
3.0.
future. Just press for the future.
That might be a 3.0.
Oh, we
version
gotta
that
boot
could
up Sarge GPT.
Hardy,
make-
real quick for the kids.
monetizable. You know?
Oh, boot them up.
What do you want? You think they might actually make this part of their project?
Yeah.
Okay.
But put this in your project.
GPT.
Yeah.
Is booting up. Welcome. You've got Sarge.
Okay, here we go. Sarge is here.
Sup, Fred?
Hey, Sarge, I am asking you,
Sup?
were these high school students using AI to contact someone that one of them is known for almost their entire life?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I figured. Thank you, Sarge. You finally worked.
Great. Did Sarge GPT answer all your questions?
You know what? Today you did, Sarge. Thank you. Today you did.
That earns you a Cyber Sarge salute of the day.
Well, what a way to start a Friday is Sarge. Now, and then he drops the mic and leaves.
That might be the best this thing has worked.
Touchdown!
My God.
Well, you know the secret, Sean? Yes or no question.
Wow.
That's
think?
That's the secret. Yeah, why is it not more engaged in what I want to talk about?
That was amazing.
They got a real camera and everything. Look at that. A big professional operation. All right, look. Just, girls, don't be nervous. Greatness is hopefully something you'll be around a lot in your lifetimes. Look at this as your maiden voyage into being around genius. Your first step into be surrounded by brilliance as your life goes on. I'm available for commencement speeches. I know Bridgewater State's taken, but I can. I would imagine.
I have an.
Why you do that?
I have an added benefit for these young women being here today. Another mentor will be joining us. Sarah from Everett is coming back on the show today, live and in person, so she can, hang out with the girls and teach them a few.
Yeah, she wasn't going to come in, but now she is.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
She's going to teach them how to cover your face on the radio.
I don't think any of them are wearing turtlenecks today. I think we're okay.
Yeah. Well, that hasn't taken off yet. All right. Just kidding. Sarah from Everett's not coming in today, in case you were worried.
No.
That's right. All right. We'll be back in just... Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR, Hardy.
Boston Bruins in Montreal last night to take on the Canadiens. Bruins trying to snap a, feels like a 9-game losing streak. 10?
9.
Yeah, that's one. I don't know. Look, not Jeremy Swayman's fault. Not last night.
Strubl's got the puck here for Montreal. Here's to Hudson, who starts it up ice, carrying through the neutral zone. All the way across to Hyman to the right side, and in front, tipped on goal by Newhook, and a good save by Swayman.
That was a good save. You want to know the save of the night?
Suzuki back to Matheson, a one-timer. Knocked down by Swayman, a rebound. Oh, what a save!
That was the one where Swayman gets over on the right side of the crease and then is kind of, I would say, uncharacteristically out of position when the puck goes back over to the left. And doesn't make a glove save. He gets the puck in actually the basket of the glove and it popped out. But the fact that he had to get back over there, he is down on his left side, reaches out and stops that puck from going in the goal.
Great.
That was
He played well last night.
Right.
He did. He
Right.
played well last night. Unfortunately, in front of him, that was a different situation.
Well, we'll see what he has to say about that later. And look, you can't stop every single shot.
Here's Matheson with a drive, knocked down in front, and a chance by Gallagher on that loose puck, and then another one, and they score. It's Dvorak who is able to whip it past Swayman, and Montreal's got the 1-0 lead.
All right, you don't have Lindholm and you don't have McAvoy, and I get that. So the talent, there's a talent drop, but there's no excuse for that. There were 4 guys standing in front of Jeremy Swayman, 4 of them, and had one guy skate in and get 2 whacks at it and put it in the net. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, but that guy skating in is a professional hockey player, and it's his job to do what he did. I don't know, what do you want?
4 guys in a box formation standing right in front of Swayman, no one more than 10 feet in front of him. And somehow this guy gets in and pokes it in.
I take it Ian Mitchell wasn't on the ice because
You had
Ian
to look
Mitchell
him up.
doesn't make mistakes.
You had to look him up, didn't you?
Yeah, I got the box score.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who the hell's on this team anymore. You want me to pretend I know who's on this team? I know Fabian Lysel's playing, but other than that, I have no interest in any of these guys. I mean, Zadarov and Lowry will be on the team next year.
Yes, and the other 4 will not, including Ian Mitchell.
And what's odd is a guy I have heard of had the least amount of minutes of any of the defensemen, which is Parker Wotherspoon. And so, I mean, he's gone probably.
Parker Wotherspoon, Hardy.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, come on.
I got my daughter's friend on it last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we were watching the game during dinner. And there was a shot of Wotherspoon talking with Swayman afterward. I'm like, oh, I think that's the guy who got stabbed. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, the guy who's just standing there next to Swayman. And, I mean, credit to Marcy and the kids. They didn't say a word. They just sat there shaking their heads. And he's, like, really engaged. He goes, got stabbed? I'm like, yeah, a couple of weeks ago. It was kind of underreported. Who are you talking about? The guy was just talking to Swayman. And he finally, it took me, like, 3 prompts for him to say Wotherspoon. I said, no, with a knife. Oh, up from the table, running around. I was so happy.
You know what?
How'd the 18-year-old take it?
He's fine.
Okay.
You know what?
It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Liam.
You know what the problem is? Maybe why they didn't say anything is because they were saying, Dad, why is the TV on? This is family time.
That's right.
This is the time where we get together and we break bread and we talk. You know, why do we have the boob tube on?
No, because we got to watch Jeopardy. That's what we did first, and then we turned the game on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you said no Lindholm last night. There was a Lindholm on the ice last night, John.
There's Pasternak coming down the middle, a rebound, score. And Elias Lindholm's going to get it. And the Bruins cut it back to a 3-1 game with 6:41 to go.
Yeah, that wasn't going to be enough. So the Bruins go on to lose 4-1 in Montreal last night. Now, you said Swayman didn't have anyone playing in front of him last night.
Nope.
Okay? Jeremy, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I felt good, and again, I was thriving off the guys in front of me. D-men I thought did a good job of boxing out and making sure I saw the shots, and forwards were pushing out, taking away lanes from the D-men coming out. So something that I think we have a lot of positives, and we need to really jot them down and move forward with them.
What is he going to say? Oh, he's going to say, yeah, the guys in front of me really sucked. I played well. I can't believe I'm not getting any help out there. You expect him to say that?
If you're looking at the box score, the defense collected 9 hits.
Oh, good. Good.
Over the course of a full game.
That doesn't seem like enough. Sounds low.
How many minutes in a game?
And Zadorov had 6 of them.
How many minutes in a game?
Jesus, is that right?
Yeah, and then Peak had the other 3.
Yeah. How many defensemen played again?
All right, so you want to know how many? Well, there was 4 defensemen that had 0 hits.
Oh, good. Oh. Yeah, this is what tanking looks
Montreal,
like.
they're slippery.
And by the way, Pastrnak had a hit, so
Yeah.
there's that happening. But they play a style of defense where there's very little hitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to take anything away from another Bruins loss, it was Swayman. Even in a 4-1 game, he played well.
Yeah, no, I thought he was really good tonight. I thought that he gave us a chance. Was able to let us hang in there for a while there. And you're right. The last couple of games, he's been playing well.
There you go. So,
yeah,
there you
go. I mean, listen, if he plays well, then that's good because they're married to him for the rest of the eternity. So hopefully he does play well.
You don't think they'll be able to move off that deal in another year or two?
No, but if you're keeping track, the St. Louis Blues have now won 11 games in a row.
Now the question is, the Bruins have 6 games left. Will they win one before the end of the season?
Yeah, the Bruins have lost 9 in a row. The Blues have won 11 in a row.
Now it's 10 after last night, the Bruins.
Right. That's why I was saying.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't remember if it was 9 going into last night or 9 after last night.
I apologize. I should have
10.
that information.
They have 6 left. And by the way, I think the franchise record for consecutive losses is 11. I mean, this is historic.
Well, they're historically in a spot in the East. They haven't been in, 30 years?
Almost 30. 97 was the last time.
You want them losing.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely want them losing. Now, look, they're not going to get the first pick. I mean, there's a lottery, but they're not going to get the first pick in the draft. But they could go in there with the 4th ping pong ball. I mean, the 4th best odds.
That's where they are right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's about as good as it's going to get for them.
Yeah. They're 7 points up on 3rd worst, correct? I think the 3rd worst team has 62.
Yeah. They can't catch
It's
them.
almost
mathematically impossible.
6 games left. They have Carolina, loss. Buffalo, loss. They play New Jersey twice, 2 losses. Chicago and Pittsburgh, they have a chance. They have a chance to win.
Why?
One of those 2.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but why Buffalo is that a loss for sure?
Buffalo's playing better than them.
Well, yeah. Well, everyone's playing better than them. Yeah. I mean, like literally everyone's playing better than them. But I don't.
Buffalo's won 5 of their last 6.
Okay. Yes, which has put them ahead of the Bruins by a point with 2 games in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like the Bruins are going to have a decent chance in the lottery. And then we can all pretend to know who the prospects are once they get a good pick.
I know. And we have people calling up. I think they should take this forward from North Dakota State. Okay?
Hopefully it's as well informed as the Joe Milton talk that
God.
John's telling me happened on the station yesterday from the audience.
It was constant and a beating. It made it really tough to listen to.
And the bogus reporting that was coming.
All the hand-wringing about trading Joe Milton. How could he give up on this kid? They only got a 5 for him. Are you effing kidding me?
All right, we'll get into it with a 5. Yeah, they gave up him in his 7th.
They had to pay up for, my God.
Him in his 7th for a 5th. They moved up 40 some odd picks in the draft and gave up a pick in the player.
Oh, it was the outrage of how they're conducting business like this, trading Joe Milton. Oh, my God, how will we ever recover from this?
In fairness, the audience has seen a lot of him, and they're very familiar with his career prior to his professional career.
Remarkable. Remarkable.
We'll get into it with Bird. Red Sox also played yesterday, and
home opener.
Tickets, I'm going.
Well, home opener is today.
Yeah. Well, today's home opener day.
Okay, but we're talking about what happened last night, and last night,
if we weren't booked up solid, we should have had Danny Roach on give us a little speech, but too many guests.
We were waiting for Rafael Devers to come around, and we're kind of waiting on another big Red Sox player, an acquisition here in this offseason. Alex Bregman, really kind of waiting for some fireworks.
High fly ball left field. Carlson back it up, and see you later.
first in a Red Sox uniform. 2-0 Sox.
How about that?
Dunkity-doo, homeroo.
Oh, that.
Got to retire that. That's fantastic. Don't want to spoil it.
He wasn't the only one going yard last night.
This one drilled deep to left field. Carlson on the move again. That is going to.
It's not the end of the left. They ain't just. They might be losing elections, but they're winning the battle of the ding dongs.
Christian Campbell strikes for a 2-run shot.
Ooh, soup it up.
I knew you were going to do something with Campbell's soup. I didn't think it was going to be soup it up.
Soup it up like an old hot rod, Campbell's. Put on a wig and be part of the New York nightlife. Put on a wig and go to Max's, Kansas City. You, Campbell.
Go.
Where's he going again?
I start as a commercial artist, and then at the end of your life, make portraits of famous people. Campbell it up.
This one drilled deep.
Everyone's famous for 15 minutes, and here's yours.
And that one is out.
Campbell.
Christian Campbell strikes for a 2-run shot.
That's it?
Yeah, yeah.
I like the
it's all my
15
Warhol trivia.
I like the 15 minutes. All right. So, Alex Cora, you like Alex Bregman now?
Yeah, he's going to be okay. He's a good hitter. He's very smart, and he cares about his teammates. He does. He really does. And just to see him perform is super cool. That ball hit to right center, that's a good sign, to be honest with you. Hopefully tomorrow he doesn't hit it that way. He knows where to go.
Oh, well, yeah. Don't hit it that way tomorrow when you're at Fenway, dum-dum.
It's a little further out to the bullpen at Fenway. Yeah, can't hit it that way. Got to concentrate on that big wall and left. He knows where to go.
Go left, young man. Go left.
Yeah.
So there you go. The Red Sox win a couple here against the Orioles after a lackluster first series of the season. They win a series, and now the home opener later on today. Freddie T will be attending tomorrow, much to the chagrin of everyone who did not buy the tickets he had posted online and who will instead be watching the game tomorrow at home, warm and dry on their couches. Don't they feel foolish?
You'll be home on a Saturday watching life tick by while I'm out there. I'm going to come out in full uniform and I'm going to start collecting balls. And hopefully make a little
tomorrow's
side.
the start of the collecting day.
Yeah, hopefully make myself a little side gig. Well, John's going out today.
You're bringing your glove.
Yeah. Yeah, I bring my glove.
Wallach's going to the game today.
Yeah.
Where are your seats?
Loge box, a little bit further down the line from where you sit, behind the Cardinals dugout.
Okay. You in the infield?
I think it's like parallel with third base.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
And no nap for Johnny Wallach today.
Nope.
No, that's a 2:00 game's tough. You're gonna have to power through. And John gets loaded at these games.
You have a couple of cocktails.
We'll have a couple of cocktails beforehand.
What do you like? Sure. Well, beforehand. What about during the game?
Maybe. I don't like the beer. It's very expensive. The beer. Very expensive.
Wallach.
Hardy.
When you go to meet your friends.
Yeah.
Right. What will you order up there at the cask or wherever you guys are meeting?
There'll be appetizers. There'll be beer. There'll be the regular pub fare.
You just drink beer?
Yes.
No mixed drinks.
No.
Okay.
And a lot of Adderall because he's got to stay up and active for the game. All right, we will be back, and when we return, there was a big game in the National Basketball Association. We have Bert Breer coming in for the 7:00 hour, where we can now do our big take on the incredible Joe Milton trade that occurred over the day yesterday after we got off the air. We can do all of that. We will be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins lost again last night, 4-1 up in Montreal. That makes 10 straight losses for the Bruins. Their next game is at home tomorrow night against Carolina. Celtics play Phoenix at the Garden tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Jaylen Brown questionable again. Kevin Durant not expected to play for the visitors. In baseball news, Alex Bregman hit his first Red Sox homer. He drove in 3 runs. Sox beat the Orioles in Baltimore 8-4. They're 3-4. The home opener is this afternoon against St. Louis. And the Patriots made a trade yesterday, sending Joe Milton and a 7th-round draft pick to Dallas in exchange for a 5th-round selection. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Now's the perfect time to get even stronger at Planet Fitness. With free fitness training, best-in-class equipment, and most clubs open 24 hours. Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month.
Finger on the pulse, Fred.
Begin your
Seldom
day
right and never wrong.
right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
Kinda looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The sport.
Watch High Fidelity, and then we both realized at the end that it had run out of a little steam. With like about 20 minutes left. I didn't so much care if he got back together with the girl.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll go into a whole list mania. Just start making lists. Organize my records. My 10 records. All right, Hardy, what else happened yesterday? This is lots of sports. We have to talk about them.
Well, the Patriots have themselves a new offensive coordinator. Now, this fella's name is Josh McDaniels. Now, you may not remember, he was here before.
Yeah.
He looks good. Now, Vrabel does not look as good as he used to. But let's be fair. Let's play both sides. Vrabel, McDaniels, good. He looks young. He looks fit.
You want to know why? Here he's been hitting up the Pickle Palace.
Is that true?
I'm not saying where, but I understand that he plays at a certain establishment.
Well, it's got to be yours.
No.
Oh, so there's a pickle community where there's a lot of talk about who's playing where?
Yeah.
He ventures to the Natick Collections. Is that where he goes?
He can't go to the Natick Collections. He'll be mobbed.
Right.
It's got to be a private pickleball.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because not everyone will just come out and tell you that Rask and Pasternak belong to their club like I do and ruin everything for them.
Sure. I understand. Very exclusive.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're absolutely right. He looks good. He looks, fit and healthy and ready to go. And, why wouldn't he be? He's happy. Why wouldn't he be?
Super excited to be, working in football again. The process of getting acclimated with Mike and the staff is obviously an exciting one for me. Working with a bunch of guys that, you're getting familiar with them and learning things about them and our team and our players that we haven't had an opportunity to work with yet.
So who is the one person that he probably most wants to establish a relationship with right now?
Joe Milton. Oh, it's too bad. He got traded.
Later, John.
Oh,
later.
Sorry.
No. Drake May. So, initially, what are you thinking, Josh?
I haven't had a chance to really do football with him yet, Tom, but, that'll come. We'll have plenty of time here coming up next week. But I'm smitten by the young man in terms of just his personality. We've had an opportunity to spend some time that has nothing to do with football with one another, which I think has been great, very beneficial and productive to get to know him, who he is, what he's all about.
Now, are you hearing about anything about how Josh McDaniels plays the game?
No.
There's nothing about his attitude, because there can be oftentimes when you're a celebrity, people will start gossiping about the way you act. Like there's really no safe space for you. Is he an aggressive guy? Is it a mixed doubles guy? Is it a couple situation? Do they swing? What's going on?
Don't know. Just heard that he's plays at a certain place.
Okay.
And David Andrews, when he was here, last week, I think, told me that. This makes me feel good about the athletic pursuit that is pickleball. He says, another guy who plays a lot, Dante Scarnecchia.
Yeah.
He's really good, covers a lot of court. Probably plays singles.
Spry.
Yeah.
Not a young man.
No,
yeah, that should tell you something.
It does. It's for elderly people. But if you are ever driving across the USA, or if your daughter ever decides, or your son ever decides to attend the great University of Tennessee, just stop by. My dad will proudly take you to the Telco Village, which, by the way, someone told me during the Apple, if you listen to the show on Apple Podcast, that Telco Village advertises.
Got an email about that.
Yeah, and he wasn't. He says he's not lying. Like, for some reason, Telco Village advertises where my parents have retired.
Huh.
But my father says, don't worry about the economy. He says that, first of all, rest easy. My father says everything's taken care of. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
We're talking about weeks, not months, and certainly not years.
Shush. I was worried until I found out secondhand that your dad says everything is going to be okay.
These sweeping tax cuts will come, and then everything will be fine.
Okay.
That's what I'm not lying. This is what he says.
Right.
And then, but he'll take you to the Teleco, and he'll show you them, and he's never been in them, but he'll wave his hand, and the majesty of them will take you away.
Is there a possibility of a guest day pass to get out there and do some pickling on the courts.
In all seriousness, I have been there. I have been in there. I've played there with my children, but it's very, very, very difficult to get a court. And I'm not joking, because that place is cooking from about 4:30 in the morning when they, after breakfast for them, until about 5:30 in the evening when they,
go to dinner. Yeah.
Well, that's post-dinner play.
Oh, yeah.
But it is stacked. Like, it's always packed all year. Sometimes the people leave a little bit in the winter, but it was still busy when I was there over Christmas.
It's funny. You just reminded me, if I want to get a court a week from today, I had to have done it yesterday at an appointed time when the reservations open up. And, oh, no, 2 left. Hold on. I'm going to grab that right now.
Yeah,
okay.
Take your time.
All right. Josh McDaniels, what about the language of the offense?
We have a language, and
it's like
every
jazz.
Offensive system, defensive system has a language. So you have to you have to decide the way you want to speak in terms of calling things.
It's violent, but almost camping is violence.
Whether you use numbers,
it's influenced by Tarantino.
It's like jazz.
I already said that.
No, I'm trying to prompt something, but it didn't happen. That's okay.
What? It's like, what? That offense. Man, play offense with that mouth of yours, baby. Come over here and play offense with that mouth. I want you to hit the hole. You know what I'm saying? Ignore the front and take care of the back.
Secretly, you're happy I did this. Admit it, Hardy.
And by the way, all that you heard about jelly or maple syrup is a lie. There ain't nothing gonna improve anything. I'm clean back there. Shush.
Shush, indeed.
Shut your mouth. Stop complaining.
What were you doing last year, Josh?
It was just a really healthy opportunity for me to go back and look at what I've done, what I've been a part of, and then what else is going on in the league right now that I need to get better at, that I need to start thinking about incorporating. I got an opportunity to go to a few different places last year. I won't say where those were.
Ohio State.
But there was some great coaches that were very welcoming.
He was at Ohio State learning about the college offenses. All I got to say is 2 words: tush push.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's taken over the NFL. Has there been a more boring conversation than that surrounding the tush push? Does anyone really care if they get rid of the tush push or not? And whoever invented the tush push has got to be very satisfied with themselves because they found a name for ass that rhymes with push.
But with all the hullabaloo surrounding the tush push, now we have a tuchus ruckus.
Or an ass assault.
That doesn't work at all.
No.
Ass assault.
An assault.
Tush push ass assault.
No.
Tush push ass assault. ASS ass ass.
You're trying to make some alliteration there. It's
tush push is alliteration.
Rhymes. No, that rhymes.
Alliteration is
I understand
letter for the first two.
Yeah, but it's more than the same letter. It's the same first 2 letters. Does assault have 2 S's? It's the same first 3 letters.
But they sound different. It's an a and an so the alliteration doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Okay. A rectum rectory.
Okay, and the rectory fits how?
Let's go with that.
Because it's whatever rectory means.
12. Can we make T-shirts with
the wind at
station logo on
Fenway coming in 18 miles an hour from left field today.
Yep.
Isn't a rectory where priests live?
I don't know, but there's got to be another message. It's got to be another. It can't just be where priests live. And if it is, then I take it back. My ignorance of the English language should not be held against me.
Rectory is the residence provided for a rector, a priest, or minister by a church organization.
All right, then I won't use that one.
Yeah.
All right.
No, keep workshopping it.
Yeah, I'm workshopping. I mean, you can't ask me to think of everything off the top of my head. Dan Roach just keeps sending things about opening day until we will respond. He's now twice he sends things. He wants us to talk about him. Dan, I know. I've already mentioned you today.
A lot of emojis.
I sent the dancing cat emoji back for Fred's benefit more than anything. Yeah. But now he's taken that as encouragement to keep the conversation going in this group text.
All right. When we come back, Bert Breer, when he gets here is anyone's guess. But when he comes in, we can tackle Joe Milton gate. that is
Tackle.
grip the nation. We will be back in just a moment.
streak is rapidly becoming historic. They lost their 10th straight game last night, 4-1 in Montreal. Elias Lindholm had the only goal for the Bruins. Brendan Gallagher and Nick Suzuki had a goal and an assist apiece for the winners. The Bruins' next game is at home tomorrow night against Carolina. Celtics use the building for basketball tonight. They'll play Phoenix. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Jaylen Brown and his sore knee are questionable again. Kevin Durant is expected to miss tonight for the visitors. He has a sprained ankle. And baseball news, Alex Bregman hit his first Red Sox homer and drove in 3 runs. He led his new team to an 8-4 win in Baltimore over the Orioles yesterday. Next up, his first home opener at Fenway.
No, it was great. I thought we did a good job offensively today, squaring the ball up, using the whole field. KC, big homer. Cassis, huge homer to give us some big insurance there. And pitchers did a great job as well. Now it's time to go to Boston, and I can't wait.
Tristan Casas and Christian Campbell added a homer and 2 RBIs apiece yesterday. Walker Buehler will pitch today against St. Louis. Patriots made a trade yesterday. They sent third-string quarterback Joe Milton and a 7th-round pick to Dallas in exchange for a 5th-round selection. And the Raiders assigned quarterback Geno Smith to a 2-year contract extension. It's a prize package worth $75 million. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Blue Sky Restoration Contractors. If your home or business is damaged by spring storms, Blue Sky will take care of everything from beginning to end. Go visit BLUsky.com, restoring your property and your life for a brighter tomorrow. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 98.5sportshub.com.
Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Todger and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
So what do we say on the station? Is it the Joe Show?
The Joe Show.
And 95 The Sports Hub in Boston?
Welcome to the Joe Show.
Well, there's been kind of a Joe Show today here at Gillette.
If you are, if you haven't joined, if you haven't heard about it, Joe Milton, the Tennessee Phenom 6th-round pick, was then yesterday traded by the New England Patriots to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
For him and a 7th rounder for a 5th rounder, and there's a guy named Jordan Schultz who got into it with Ian Rappaport at the combine.
He was on the other end of the Starbucks stare down, which was, I mean, like probably one of my favorite moments in 20 years of covering the NFL. I mean, it was when that went down. When that went down, I'm not kidding. Like, I went into full reporter mode. I needed to know what happened. I needed to know when it happened. I needed to know how it happened. I needed to know why it happened.
Okay, so Ian Rappaport, we all know he used to be here, and now he's a bigwig with the NFL Network. And Jordan Schultz works for whom?
Fox, right? I think he's like a freelancer for Fox. Yeah.
Okay,
Fox.
And so there was some. What did Jordan Schultz reported at this point?
So
with the Rappaport thing, and then we'll get into the Milton.
So
thing.
that was
It's obviously was very big news, considering that no one can remember. Because I knew at the time.
I can't remember.
It doesn't really matter.
I remember the part about the Uber stock.
Okay. Oh, so I don't know this. Okay. So anyway, so Schultz, if I'm not mistaken, Schultz reported something or other, and then Rappaport said it wasn't true.
Correct.
Okay. So that happens. Take us from there.
Yeah. So, and I did a lot of journalism on this.
Sure.
Bum rush. He bum rushed him.
Oh.
Yeah. So Jordan Schultz bum rushed Ian. Ian, I guess, didn't know exactly what was going on, and like, what the hell is this? And Jordan Schultz said, "You've been going around telling people I've been giving them Uber stock for scoops."
Oh, so he was taking.
So he said that Ian was spreading rumors that he was giving people Uber stock.
So he had bought a bunch of stocks of the corporation, the Uber stocks of the corporation, and he was transferring them
to
people,
sources
because he wanted to do something.
Scoops.
Yeah, he wanted to do something much easier to track than cash. So he said, "I'm going to start transferring stock to you." which by law has to be pretty well documented. Okay.
Yeah, and I believe Starbucks gift cards were the other things that were being a part of that exchange.
Sure, and if I'm a bigwig general manager, I'll give you anything.
Things got heated. Ian basically walked away from the situation. There's been conflicting information out there on whether or not Ian called security, but that's become a part of the story too. NFL security, and so that was it was a fun situation.
Now, Ian's a little guy. How big is Jordan Schultz? Was this
He's
a
probably
bullying?
about my size.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't like ridiculous. It wasn't like an ex-football player going after Ian Rappaport. Okay.
Jordan's not a big guy, like muscular, is he?
He's just like a normal guy.
Okay. So there you go.
All right. I didn't know if it was like because Ian's pretty small, so I didn't know if it was like a bullying thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is stuff I've said to Ian's face. Like Ian, is about the size of a high school wrestler.
Yes, and a lot of these guys like Reese and Schefter and Ian Rappaport are very tiny.
It's weird. Like even like Glazer, who's jacked, is very short.
Is very short.
Right.
Like,
it's strange for me because I run into people, and you guys. I mean, I'm not like this like huge guy. I'm like 6'1", 6'2", right in there.
Nah.
And
let's not go crazy.
And when people see me in person, they're like, "I can't believe how tall you are." And I think it's because
you tower over everybody else.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I mean, it's like compared to people in my line of work. Like,
Sure.
Like Phil Perry's another one who is like a normal normal height. But, like, in the context of the people he's around in his business, he's a giant.
You hang out with Mike Reese long enough, you look huge.
I mean,
Mike Reese is.
But it is like there's this assumption that every reporter is like 5'4".
When I saw Schefter at the Super Bowl the first time I ever saw Schefter, I was amazed at how tiny he was because they really do a good job on television of not making him look so tiny because he's crazy short.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
I would say this, like in Ian's defense, Ian has no problem making fun of himself for it, so I'll give him that.
Well, I don't think calling someone
because there was
short
one time, like the first time when he and I were working together at NFL Network, the first time we did a live shot together, they made him stand on sandbags. So they had like 3 sandbags.
Just to make it more depressing, they couldn't just get him a box.
They thought it looked ridiculous.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, but they couldn't just get him a box. All right. So anyway,
no, you got to humiliate him a little bit.
Yeah. So let's get like just the most unusual thing you could possibly stand on. So anyways,
they had sandbags because normally you'd have the sandbags to weigh
the
down.
tripods and the lights. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So anyway, so the Milton gets traded. He gets moved. Milton in a 7th for a 5th. Milton was the 6th round pick of the draft a year ago.
Yep.
In the draft a year ago. And Jordan Schultz comes out, and it was, I read it, or when I saw it, it was absolutely ludicrous that Joe Milton, I'll give you several reasons. The report was that there had been other teams, the Steelers among them, who had offered more for Joe Milton, but the Patriots wanted to honor Joe Milton, so they sent him to his chosen destination. Now, let's break this down from both sides. Well, it makes no sense. A, it's preposterous that the Patriots would do that for a kid they just drafted in the 6th round. And so let's put that aside. Why would he want to go where they've just extended Dak Prescott? If
Dak Prescott's the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, like Dak Prescott's going to be the quarterback of the Cowboys for a very, very long time. Why would he not want to go to Pittsburgh, who doesn't have a quarterback? Like, if he was to pick a destination anywhere besides Dallas, I mean, Dallas is one of the worst situations if you want to be a starting quarterback in football. I mean, it's Kansas City, Dallas, Buffalo. I mean, there's like
Cincinnati.
There's only a handful of teams that have these as bad a situation. So anyway, that was preposterous, and you have done some reporting, Bert, and it is not true.
Well, yeah. So my understanding is they talked to other teams and they were shopping him, and this was, I mean, more like the Patriots trying to find a new home for him because they just didn't think the fit was there in the quarterback room, and they wanted to clear the decks for Drake May. It was something they communicated actually to Josh Dobbs, because when Josh Dobbs came here, you know, part of it was like he wanted to be the primary backup, and when you're that age, you want to know like, hey, if I'm going to sign here, I want a pretty good assurance that I'm going to be on the team in September.
Right.
And so they said to him, and, you know, no uncertain terms, like, no, we don't want competition in the room for Drake right now. What we're looking for is a resource, and kind of like Josh McCown was for all those years, like what Derek Anderson was.
Hoyer was here.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Josh Dobbs probably said, "That's fine. I'm not here to compete for the starting job, but I don't want to compete for the backup job.
I don't want to be in a spot where I'm getting cut at the end of August.
Right.
I'm looking for a new job." And so they had sort of signaled to him that this was a likelihood that they would wind up moving on from Joe Milton. So like they had shopped Joe Milton around a bunch, and again, like a lot of that communication between the Patriots and the other teams was prompted by the Patriots, and they had one offer, and that offer from Dallas was initially a 7th-round pick, and they wind up negotiating it up where it's now a 5 and a 7 coming back, or going back to Dallas with him, which is a pick swap that winds up if you look at the draft chart, it winds up being it's a 46 pick difference. It winds up being the equivalent of a 6th-round pick, which is essentially what they spent to get him a year ago. So it's basically a wash.
You're saying that Joe Milton's electric performance in the last game of the season did not improve the scouting that had been done of him.
Beyond anything else, there is 6 years of college evidence on him.
Yeah.
Like he threw. And I love the people that around here that were acting like they were going to get a 2 or 3. Like what? Like this, and it's not like the guy. It's not like the guy is like 21 years old either. You know what I mean? Like
the calls were endless yesterday.
Well, let him finish his point.
God.
Okay, so
do you guys know whose recruiting class he was in?
At Michigan?
No. Do you like the
go ahead.
The recruiting class, like the year he came out of high school, the other quarterbacks in that recruiting class, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, like that's his age. So this isn't a guy who is 21 years old and maybe underdeveloped. He played at 2 major programs.
Yeah.
One of them let him walk without much of a fight. The other one, was really good before he became the starter and then got really good again this year after he left. So, and I'm not denigrating the guy, but there's 6 years of college evidence here. Like this idea that 4 quarters against a Buffalo team that was, basically fielding their version of a G League team out there was going to change everything is crazy.
Well, there's 2 reasons why the fan base feels this way.
Because they don't watch college football?
That's number one. And it's not only not watching college football because, who's expected to watch the Tennessee season that Milton plays?
Yeah.
But it's also just the inability to realize that every one of these teams has scouted every one of these kids extensively.
Right.
And, it's not like – and then there was people that, work – reporting on the NFL, I don't remember exactly who would say this to us, but they'd be like, well, they would want a guy that had, been developed in the Patriot system. They wanted a guy that Alex Van Pelt worked with for a year. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Why would they want some things
to me
people
is
say are crazy.
That to me is the biggest red flag on Joe Milton. Is who could use a young quarterback to throw in the system? Is the Rams. You know who's really good at developing young quarterbacks? Is the Rams. Where does Alex Van Pelt work now?
Rams.
So, the idea, that the Rams who have, you guys can look it up. I think they have 4 6th-round picks. The Rams do. Okay, go look it up.
Sure.
Go look it up.
We'll take your word for it.
But I think they have 4 6th-round picks that the Rams wouldn't step into this, and with Alex Van Pelt there, and say we'll throw you a 6th-round pick when we don't know. Matthew Stafford is year to year there right now. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells you that Joe Milton is not very good.
4 6th-round picks.
But the other reason is not only the ignorance of just accepting that
four
people,
of them.
But it's also that he cost them the number 1 overall pick. That you saw Milton show out in that game, and that cost you the number 1 overall
pick.
pick.
And now that Cam Ward's gotten hot, can you imagine what they would have been able to get for them?
But to justify that in your mind, you go, all right. Well, the good news that came out of that game is we found a very intriguing trade chip for other teams. Remember, after Milton played really well in that game, that was now we have a trade chip. Mm-hmm. In fact, Nick put a video up of me like being very sarcastic about trading him for 2 1s. And, trading him to the Giants because they like him more than Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
And there were people like earnestly commenting under it. Like, yeah, you should get a number 1. You should get the 3rd pick in the draft.
Here's a good example of how that can work sometimes, right? So I think Matt Schaub is a good example. If you guys remember, he was Vic's backup in Atlanta. This would have been like what, 04, 05, 06, something like that, right? And here was a guy who was a very good college player, like a really, really good college player at the University of Virginia. But like there was some question, is he quite good enough? Teams liked him coming out. The Falcons draft him. He played really well in a bunch of preseason games. And so like then some teams look at it and they put their evaluation. It's like, well, we did like him as a college player, but was he quite physically gifted enough to be a good pro? And then you see him in the preseason, okay, it translates, and then you wind up and then Houston winds up trading for him because Gary Kubiak liked him years before when he was coming out. That's how that happens. It doesn't happen because of one game. It happens because teams look back at like the evaluation that they had in college and said, well, we actually really liked him coming out, and we weren't in a spot to take him then. But now we're putting that together with some of the pro tape he has, and boom, there it is.
Whoop.
Joe Milton, like, I don't know anybody who watched him in college. Like, it was one of these guys, and I mean, I said to you guys last year, he's like a broken jugs machine, right? Like, the ball's going to go really far. You just don't know in what direction.
No, he wasn't good for Tennessee. Like,
yeah, if you watch,
look, it's become a joke about how much I didn't like the pick, and I'm part of it is because people were getting so pissed off. I just kept doubling down on it, and it was funny that he played really well the last game of the season, but he is not good. I mean,
if you had to guess in 6 years of college football, how many touchdown passes he had?
Well, he barely played at Michigan, and
he was a starter, and he lost the job.
Yeah, I know, but he barely played at Michigan.
McNamara.
Yeah, but the point remains he barely played. He had 25 touchdowns.
37.
Okay.
All right, so you undercut it, but 37 touchdown passes in 6 years of college football, and 20 of that came in his last year.
Right.
Okay.
He's not good.
How many
He's never been
interceptions
good.
did he throw?
Not a lot.
Okay.
I think he threw 5 in his final year, 11 total.
So,
right.
I mean, the idea that the Patriots did a favor last year for Matthew Judon. Okay.
Right.
Matthew Judon was in his 30s. Matthew Judon had been underpaid for a couple of years. Matthew Judon had given them a really good level of production. Judon at the end was a little bit of a pain in the ass, but like I think they looked at it and said, you know, this is a guy who's been in the pros for almost a decade. Like, let's do him a solid.
Let's take care of him.
Let's just take care of him because I think it was like a question of, and I think in that case, like the offers I think were the same, right? Like they were relatively similar, and it was like, okay, we've got a 3rd round pick on the table from both teams. We could sit here and guess whether or not the Bears or the Falcons are going to be the worst team and have the higher pick. We could do that, but you know what? In this case, you know, Matthew, we're going to do you a solid.
You might go to Atlanta. There you go.
Yeah. This is like a guy coming off of his first year who Mike Vrabel doesn't know. You know what I mean? Like who I don't see where you can look at this and say, like, this is the player. You wouldn't do it anyway, and they didn't. It was the only offer they had.
It occurs to me
All
that
right, we do have to break.
Okay.
Well, we do. And so we will.
There's your full segment.
Pointing at the clock, John. It's very late.
There's your full segment on Joe Milton.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, there you have it. And I didn't have to say much, so that's great. You explained it to the people, which is what I wanted. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
by the young man in terms of just his
this year. Like, this is like a weird year where this is the first time I can remember it happened, at least since I've had kids in the schools where it like actually is during their break.
It's late. And it's late. And I guess maybe they didn't want to do it Easter weekend is why it's later, because Easter weekend is the weekend before that. I don't know.
But I think it's always, no, you know what it is? It's that Patriots Day is always the third Monday.
Okay.
And so this year, the third Monday is the 21st, which is the absolute latest it can be.
Okay.
So it's like, and then the draft, they don't want the draft to spill into May. And so like this is the earliest the draft can be.
Okay.
So the draft, I think, starts the 24th.
Yes, it does, because I come back on the 25th. All right, the come back into town. I won't be on the air, but I'm a divorced dad. These are cherished times. My daughter is here now. I mean, you hold on to this time with both hands, gentlemen.
I'm sure she sees it the same way you do.
She wants to go to the Bahamas. All right. So anyway, the Colorado Pro Days today, which is of interest to Patriots fans for a couple reasons. The most of which, the biggest, is Shedeur Sanders. It's not Travis Hunter. It's Shedeur Sanders. Because why? You want Shedeur Sanders to generate some interest. You want Cleveland or the Giants to be interested in him, or you want someone to trade up for the pick. But here we are. You have the intel. There was a lot of mock drafts with people that say they had talked in the league earlier about Shedeur Sanders was almost a sure thing to go to the Giants. Now that has turned on its head, and people are saying the Giants are not interested. They have Russell Wilson. They have Jameis Winston. What is going on in New York?
Well, I've sort of felt this way from the beginning on Shedeur. I think I said it last week to you guys, and I've said it the last couple of weeks that not everybody views him as a first-round pick, and I think there's a parallel there to Bo Nix last year where I think the great majority of the league did not think that Bo Nix was a first-round quarterback, but that didn't matter because there was one team that saw him as a fit. If he got by 12, if he had not been drafted by the Broncos, maybe the Saints take him. If the Saints don't take him, then I think he falls out of the first round completely. None of that matters because he went to the right team with the right coach, and he winds up being a Rookie of the Year candidate. I think it's the same thing with Shedeur.
Right.
So I think for Shedeur, he could go third overall. He could go 33rd overall.
What do you think? What are you hearing from the Giants, though? Like, what realistically?
I think the Giants have created a scenario where they don't need to take a quarterback. That's what they wanted to do. That's what they have done. There are a lot of jobs on the line there. They know, and I know a lot of people feel like looking at them like, well, you got to take a quarterback, and you're backed into that corner where you have to. Well, what's worse than not taking a quarterback is getting the wrong one there and passing on a generational talent.
And I've been saying that is that if I can go to ownership and I go look, we can't take Sanders at 3. Like, he's just not the kid. We brought in Russell Wilson. We'll improve the team. You'll see an improvement on the field. And then next year, the quarterback class is way better. Then we'll be in position to take our quarterback of the future. You can almost – the draft is so bad at quarterback this year, you can almost buy a year.
Here's the other thing. Like, if you're just talking about reading tea leaves, we can do this with both Cleveland and the Giants. We'll do it with the Giants first. If you're building a quarterback room for a rookie, is that how you do it?
Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson?
No.
No.
I like Jameis Winston a lot.
But no.
I love Jameis.
He doesn't scream leader.
I love
And
Jameis.
Russell Wilson is
Jameis.
universally hated by his teammates, so yes.
But that's probably not the room that you're building.
Well, that's a great point that I haven't thought of, but certainly Russell Wilson, yes, that is not the room that you're
Right.
building.
So, like, I think if you're them and you're Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, you look at it and you say, we don't think there's a quarterback worth taking third overall that's going to be available to us. And there are 2 players in this draft who are head and shoulders above everybody else, and we're going to have a shot at one of the 2. Then I think it sort of becomes academic, doesn't it? And you just look, it's a little complicated for them if they take Carter because they've got so much invested in their edge players right now, but maybe that's just something you have to figure out. What you do about Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau with Abdul Carter coming in, if that's the case. I think Travis Hunter would be much cleaner for them. And then in Cleveland, so 8 days ago, Jimmy Haslam, J.W. Johnson, who's the son-in-law, who's executive vice president for them, and Andrew Berry, the general manager, were at Penn State and took Abdul Carter out to dinner. Kevin Stefanski was not there. Now, you'd think you'd want the head coach there.
Yeah.
I think Abdul Carter is the likely second overall pick. You'd want Stefanski to sit down and meet with them and be part of that. Well, Stefanski was actually in Oxford, Mississippi for Jackson Dart's pro day. They're not taking Jackson Dart second overall. So what does that signal?
Abdul Carter is
that
going second
signals,
overall.
that you're taking Abdul Carter,
Yeah.
and you want to get eyes on quarterbacks that might be available to you
Round 2.
with the 33rd overall pick.
Yeah.
Right.
So there are all these sort of signals and tea leaves that would indicate that the Browns and the Giants are looking very hard at the idea of passing on quarterbacks. I think 99% of the haze in the barn that Cam Ward's going to be a Titan. Now they're going to listen to offers. They're going to have a crew there. The Titans are going to have a big crew there today of assistant coaches, the head coach, the general manager, the president. They're going to go out next week to work out Sanders and Hunter. After that, they're going to reconvene and they're going to listen to trade offers, but I don't think anybody's going to be able to move them off their spot. So I think in all likelihood, really the draft's going to start at 4 with the Patriots, because I think you're going to have chalk at the first 3 picks. I think those 3 teams are probably going to stay where they are, and I think it's going to be Ward 1 and then Carter and Hunter in some order at 2 and 3.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but if you've kept track of the draft, the mock drafts and the way that they're going, which is again how I get all of my information. I love the draft, but no one wants me. I'll say it again. No one wants me analyzing these players. It's not up to me. I go by what the experts say. And the trend in the draft, mock drafts, is the tackle from Missouri is getting taken ahead. Is getting taken ahead of Will Campbell out of LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Will Campbell, it was penciled in by a lot of people for months and months and months as the first offensive tackle off the board.
Yep.
That is changing arm size, everything else. And the idea that if you take Membu out of Missouri, you have a right tackle, and he's your right tackle, and then there you go, and then that's that. What are you hearing involving that?
Well, I think it's so with Campbell. I think you just have to be comfortable with the idea that he could be a guard. With Membo, you have to be comfortable with the idea that he could be a right tackle. And it's hard for the Patriots because they just now Morgan Moses isn't going to be their right tackle for 10 years, but I think with those guys, it's like, are you comfortable with the idea that might not be your left tackle? I don't think they're in a position right now where this pick can be about 2025. They just don't have enough great players. That's what it is. And if you can get a great player, you're not in a position where you can pass on a great player for a very good player.
Right. So
that makes sense.
So obviously if offensive tackle is not as strength of the draft, or early in the draft.
Yeah.
Which it's not. They say there's depth.
I mean,
but you maybe. So who are you hearing? I love the running back out of Boise State. They're not taking him, but like
Ashton Genty, yeah,
they're not. Gonna
Although
take
you
him.
could make the argument that isn't the worst idea for a young quarterback, because it helps you take pressure off your offensive line. It takes pressure off your young quarterback.
It's a very ballsy pick, though, for a bad team.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but I would look at, as someone who has to watch all the games, I'd love it if they take Genty. But, okay, so who – I know you – and now you are not alone. And to give you credit, you were a big proponent of this guy, Jalen Walker. Like,
I just think he's –
if you had the 4th pick in the draft and Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are gone, are you taking Jalen Walker?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I think so. I just look at him as – if you want stylistically what Mike Vrabel wants, which is an athletic, attacking, aggressive, versatile kid, that's what he is. There's also that piece of it, which is – what are you paying? What are you drafting? And we've talked about this, right? Like, the locker room is going to pay attention to who you pay first. The locker room is going to pay attention to who you draft first. To Will Campbell's credit, I think he fits this to a T, right? Like, Will Campbell's a really good fit for Mike Vrabel. From everybody I've talked to, I actually got a chance to briefly meet, Will Campbell and his parents at the combine. Like, I think, like, he seems like he'd be a very good fit for Vrabel. Jalen Walker would too. Like Jalen Walker is seen character-wise as like, I mean, like Georgia's had its issues, but he's one of these guys that Georgia really relied on to be like a leader of the room and all of that. So he's not like ideal size-wise, but if you look at like some of the guys, like Harold Landry's a good example of it, guys that maybe like weren't like hitting every measurable, but are just like great athletes that can do a ton of different
Will
things.
McDonald.
Like that's what he is.
Will McDonald from the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will McDonald, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
Will McDonald the fourth.
Yeah.
He doesn't
From
have
Iowa State.
Yeah, he doesn't have all the measurables, and last year he was pretty good.
He's
until he
dynamite.
got
Yeah.
hurt.
So like to me, like Walker's the one that I would look at as I like the idea of Tyler Warren too. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you watch him run, it'll remind you of Gronk, right? Like if you watch him, just go watch how it's just his style.
And he was their whole offense. That's
Yeah.
the funny thing is that he was Penn State's like literally their entire passing offense in some games.
And they snapped him the ball too.
Yeah,
So
I know.
he was part
So
of the running game.
I'm with you. I'm not. We have to break, but I'm not. I'm fascinated too why Tyler Warren is not a concrete. He's huge, and he was so. And he has the college numbers. He was in a huge program that did well.
I think there's something to be said too for the whole thing being built around you and knowing what that feels like.
I agree.
And knowing what the defense every week, everything they do is geared to stop me. Like that was Tyler Warren was that guy.
Well, I believe
and
he
Ashton
was,
Genty was too.
Was he?
Obviously.
I know Tyler Warren was the only one with a reception, the only running back with a reception in Penn State's last game, and I'm not positive he wasn't the only one targeted in that game. Like I'm not sure a wide receiver got a target against Notre Dame. So I know Tyler Warren is the. I'm 99% sure Tyler Warren was the only non-running back with a reception. I'm 50-50 on if he was the only one targeted.
In the Ohio State game, there's this big goal line stand that Ohio, for people who didn't watch, at the end of the fourth quarter is a huge goal line stand Ohio State, created to end the game. But how Penn State got there, they were at midfield, and Tyler Warren was the Wildcat quarterback, and he ran around the left edge and broke like a 48-yard run to get them down to the 2. And this is again, in their biggest game of the year, in a high-leverage situation, they're snapping the ball to him. That's the sort of player he is, an athlete he is. And I think you got a bunch of good options, but that's the whole thing, Fred, is I don't think they're in any position to make a pick for 2025. This has got to be a pick where you're looking at it and you're saying, we are not going to pass on something we think could be great for something that's just going to be very good and fill a need right now.
Okay. I'm looking at it. He very well might have been the only. He had 6 receptions. The next most was 2. And one of them was a running back. I can vet this because everyone's very interested. And the other guy was a tight end. Okay, yeah. So basically, I'm right.
But he's awesome. Doesn't it watching him run though, the recklessness of it, and how he looks bigger than everybody else? It looks like Gronk.
Yeah, I know. I'm curious why he's not more sought after. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports.
ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
That's it. I can leave 10 minutes early.
That's that. No, there's a lot to talk about.
You want to do Bert's Blast? We haven't done that in a while.
Well, I haven't prepared for it, but if you're ready to go, let's do Bert's Blast.
All right. Yeah, I suppose we can.
Bert Blast. Lives in Duxbury by the bay. Bert stops by Dunks on the way. We love Bert. He's a lot of fun because he already went for a run. It's time for Bert's Blast.
This is available for sponsorship, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you would like to sponsor Bert's Blast, this could be a part of this could be your company. You're at here.
The rare unsponsored segment's still available right now. Wally, you want to go?
I like
Sure.
it.
I kind of talked to Bert a little bit about this off the air. Is there any chance that someone is so enamored with Shedeur Sanders that they try and trade up to 3 to get him?
I think it's unlikely because I don't know who. Well, to 3?
To 3 or to 4?
Ahead of the Patriots.
I just don't like. I don't know why you would do that because the Patriots aren't taking one. Jacksonville's not taking one. I'd be surprised if the Raiders took one.
Well, they just gave Geno Smith a huge contract extension.
I mean,
the Jets
Justin
aren't going to
Fields
take
might
him.
have been given some assurance.
The Jets aren't.
I don't think the Jets are taking a quarterback at 7. So, like, I just, what's prompting you to do that? What's prompting you to jump all the way up? I don't know. I mean, to me, if he gets out of the top 3 where Shedeur's in play, would really start at 9 with the Saints.
Right.
Bert.
Really good. Really good.
You notice I jumped in there too.
What, with your own commentary?
Yeah, I answered the question with Bert.
So not really Bert's Blast.
No, I couldn't resist.
Fred's.
I couldn't resist.
What do you make of Mike Vrabel and the way he's coming across and the way he's handled this first couple of weeks with doing a lot of sit downs and just your general impressions?
I personally like it because I think he's showing like that he's the guy and there's going to be accountability and the buck stops with him and I think he's showing like that this is a different sort of situation than you had here for 25 years with Bill Belichick as the coach. He's his own guy. It's going to look different. I think what it does is it immediately sets a new tone, which I think was something that was needed here.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Bert Blast.
Go ahead.
Okay. Question about Jerry Jones, who continues to wait as long as possible to sign his players.
I can't wait for the doc, by the way. I think we're only a few months away now.
Oh, there's a documentary about him?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, so he's waiting forever to sign Micah Parsons. Meanwhile, the price on him goes up and up and up, and he had some kind of weird answer as to why. He said, I'd rather wait a real long time and get it right, which was crazy dumb. So what is Jerry Jones doing?
That wasn't the worst part. You heard the worst part.
Which was?
He called out his agent.
Oh, yeah, he's going behind the agent's back and talking to him directly.
Well, and he said, like, I don't even know the agent's name. This agent.
He's a raving lunatic.
This agent is the most perhaps maybe the most prominent agent in all of the league. Has like the highest paid player at like 4 different positions. This is the wrong guy to call out.
So what is Jerry doing?
Like, if there was any sort of discount coming, it is not coming now.
So what is Jerry doing at this moment?
I don't know. I mean, I like my feeling on it. Like Jerry's always had. Obviously, I covered him on the beat when I was down there, and so I've got a good feel for him. He's always had trouble with it. Like not much of a filter there. I think now in his advanced age, it's gotten to the point where there's no filter at all.
The only thing we have to say is
Bert Blast.
All right, finally, after the matter is tabled, will the tush push end up being banned?
Yes, and I didn't feel that way going into the meeting, but when Roger wants something through and he doesn't think he can get it through at the March meeting, he'll table it to the May meeting. The difference between the March meeting and the May meeting is that the coaches are at the March meeting. The coaches are not at the May meeting. The football people are not at the May meeting. So you're basically going to have a much cleaner process if you want to get something through. And they're looking at the 2004 rule, which I don't know if you guys know the background there. If you want to go into that, we can. But basically, they scrapped what the Packers' proposal was. Vrabel was one of the people that kind of spoke out on this. Jim Harbaugh was another. where the writing of it doesn't really work. So they're going to look at the rule as it was written in 2004 before it was repealed.
Bert, blast!
And there you go.
And there you go. The Vrabel idea, I actually thought this was interesting. So Vrabel, in the meeting, basically said the idea, like the way it was written, it was like written, you can't push the quarterback behind the center. And so Vrabel said, well, what happens if the quarterback runs behind the guard? Then can I push him, right? And so then that prompted Jim Harbaugh to ask, well, what if I take 2 extra linemen, like a 6th and 7th lineman, put them in the game, line them up behind the guards, and have them push the guards, which would be like the most Jim Harbaugh formation ever.
It's like his wet dream.
Yeah.
7 linemen in the game.
All running. Yeah.
And all their helmets are all broken at the end because you know Harbaugh keeps broken helmets behind his desk in his office. Helmets that have been broken during games.
Right.
He loves them.
Really good.
Thanks, Bert.
It's one of Jameli's finest moments.
Oh, it really is.
It really
Fantastic.
is. I mean, I'm surprised you guys don't have like sponsors lining up for that.
No, listen.
Your ad here.
Listen, in this new economy of industrial production in the United States, now is the time to invest in the infrastructure.
I was told
I
was told that you should go buy shoes right now because they're one thing that, like, if you have designs on buying shoes right now,
who's wearing them?
Running shoe. If you have any designs on buying shoes, this is a very good time to buy them because I think that's one. I've heard that's one thing.
Nike's stock fell off the table because they import their shoes from other countries.
Yeah,
great.
All right. Well, listen.
Far away.
Well, if they pass these tax cuts, maybe everything will be okay. All right. Look, Bert, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
MMQB. My father says, don't worry about any of this. That's what he says. All right. Bert, thank you for your time. We will be back. A very, very close vote in our final semifinal 6-man competition. And we will unveil those results. And there's no certainties with this. We will unveil the results. Even I don't know in just a moment.
drinks.
Bruins lost.
Never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
No, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Do a thing on your hero. Like, who's your hero? And some people went to the White House. Some people went to local governments. Some people went to charities overseas.
Yep.
To the people feeding
NASA.
A lot, yeah. NASA was involved. In fact, one kid was able to put an embedded camera in a rocket. And these girls said, local radio.
Right.
They said, give us the local radio host. And so for them, their lifelong, the life of the children, the girl went to preschool with my son. I said, it's an open, this is your chance. This is your chance to really soak in it, take advantage of it, because you'll remember this for the rest of your life.
They say never meet your heroes. Now, you've met before, but this case of meeting your heroes in their heroic setting, I wonder if ultimately it will be a disappointment.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine either.
Well, they were interviewing Zoe about her thoughts
boy.
of having a father, a brilliant father.
Either one of you take Italian in at your school? No? All right. I know the Italian teacher at their school. That's all.
At Newton North?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen. I didn't know.
Who do you know?
I know a guy who sells used underwear on the internet.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
Toucher and Hardy features Fred Toucher with Hardy and Wallach too. Adam 12 and Nick and Ryan. But the most important person is you. Sixth man.
The New Woke Order.
Sixth man.
I'm totally blind, by the way.
Sixth man.
A lot of people are going, ooh, oh.
Sixth man.
6
is a very seductive number.
Wow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's our six-man competition, and so far we have Guy from Machine is in the finals. He beat Robbie Roadsteamer in a all-out battle, but we've had a lot of battles so far, but none has been as close as the last one. Sarah from Everett, we had never laid eyes on her, and until Nick blew it. But then we laid out, and she came in, and Sarah from Everett made her case.
I don't have it.
Do I have it?
Where's the
I do.
snorting?
All right, here we go. Here's a small chunk of the hour Sarah was on the radio yesterday.
Thank you.
So Sarah from Everett's here. There's a dog that is on Hardy right now.
Look at that.
So if you go to the @Toucher and Hardy or @Fred Toucher Instagram pages, Nick has made a lovely video of John just him and one of the dogs bonding, the two of them. And someone made a point on email of to see an eagle in a canine coexist. This needs to go viral.
It's like the horse and the cat videos. You know,
Right.
they're best friends.
Exactly. Or it's like the
pig and the
cat
rooster.
riding a dog and a mouse riding the cat. Like, it's a hat on a hat on a hat. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it better go viral. That's all. So Sarah from Everett's here. There's a dog that is on Hardy right now.
Look at that.
All right. So Sarah, you're going to have to talk right into the microphone, my dear. You can move it. You can move it so it's in front of your face. Okay. So you have, first of all, you have big sunglasses on, and you're covering your face with a turtleneck.
Yeah, because I got a blue eye.
What?
I got a
Take it. Why do you have your turtleneck in front of your face?
We
Sarah?
can't hear you if you're muffled, you see.
My boyfriend said the same thing. I'm just really uncomfortable.
Okay, don't be. You are safe here. You're lovely looking. Everyone is excited.
Sarah, we're friends.
Please remove that from your face.
I'm not going to. No.
Not your sunglasses. Your turtleneck over your mouth.
Yeah.
No, I'll just pull it down. and
Fine,
talk
that's
like
fine.
that. Is that
Okay.
good?
Okay.
I'm just uncomfortable.
And one interesting email I got about that was that I was being rude to Sarah for telling her to remove the fabric from in front of her mouth while she was on the radio.
That prohibited her from speaking clearly into the microphone.
Yeah, she wasn't in a witness protection. She wasn't
Yeah.
saying anything to keep her identity secret. I just, what was I supposed to do?
Did her boyfriend tell her that by putting the fabric up in front of her face, it muffles her voice, or did her boyfriend, does he tell her to do that?
I think it was option
He says
B.
do that at
was her-
home.
Yeah.
But
I think
don't do it on the radio.
Yeah, okay, all right.
But the idea that her boyfriend had to tell her, don't put fabric over your mouth while you talk, is says all you need to know about Sarah. No, but
Here, I'm just uncomfortable.
Fine. You can wear it over your chin.
Okay.
All right, Sarah.
Can I come clean
Very
real
good.
quick?
Yeah. Yes.
My boyfriend asked me to roll back on something I had said about Hardy and that I wasn't attracted to him. This is going to get really uncomfortable. I wasn't attracted to him, and I thought of him as my father, and that's not true. I'm very attracted to you. I think you're hilarious. I don't really like my father, and you're such a better person than him. So.
Okay, you did not have a good relationship with your father, you're saying.
Yeah, my second one. No.
Okay, your second father was not so great. Okay,
Yeah.
and that is explains your attraction to Hardy. Now, you find yourself very well put. She was very uncomfortable.
She didn't have to bring any of that up. If it made her uncomfortable, like none of that needed to be said.
No, she was not being grilled. Let's put it that way.
No, and she was comfortable enough to bring in a couple of dogs with her and had gifts for everybody. I thought it was a very loose and welcoming atmosphere, but
Your man Musk overwhelmed the room.
It literally could have not been more welcoming. I mean, there's nothing more go to bed tonight knowing there's nothing more you could have done for Sarah. Now, what I did do is, and I want credit for this, took the shirt she gave me, gave right to Adam.
That's nice.
Good, cool Keith shirt.
Writing it off. Taxes in 2026. That has been written off.
She is.
It's a gift worth $20.
Believe it or not, she has emailed several times this morning.
Jesus Christ.
One of the emails says, "So bummed I had a bag of eco-friendly bags for Adam 12 and forgot to bring them in yesterday."
That's quite all right. I have quite a few of those myself.
Yeah, I mean, talking about bringing sand to the beach. All right, so she was up against man by name of Adolfo, who we barely got to talk to yesterday. Yeah. But Adolfo, here's a minute of Adolfo on the show yesterday. All right, Adolfo, do you see Sarah from Everett? You know she's not married.
No, she's not.
Okay, so
He can come stay with me.
Okay, so that's what's on the table, Adolfo, is that, Adolfo, you have an invitation. So if you stay with Sarah from Everett, Sarah, what is that going to be like? Because your boyfriend's a fan of the show. Adolfo's part of the show.
He loves Adolfo.
You're a fan of the show.
Yeah, no. We have an extra room.
Okay, so Sarah told us at the end of the interview that she had alcohol in her. She doesn't drive, so don't worry. She had alcohol in that thermos she was carrying around. Was Sarah intoxicated yesterday, or she always kind of have that little slur?
No, I think who doesn't have a little freshener in their coffee in the morning? We all do it. Yeah, it's commonplace, right? Look at Beaton. He's over there drinking right now.
Yeah. Well, we know Nick starts cracking them open at noon on Mondays.
That's right.
He doesn't, but he put a video up or a picture up of him and his son. on Monday at noon, and he's like, it's a picture of him and his son, and Nick's got some fancy cocktail in front of him. Like, Jesus Christ, Nicholas. I've had my problems, but I wasn't at a bar at noon on Monday.
It's a cute photo. The kid has his sippy cup.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with drinking with your kid around. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying noon on a Monday.
And Nick has 5 old fashions sitting in front of him. It's no big deal.
That might have been an old fashioned. It had like a grape on a stick. It was a real girly drink.
He thinks it was an old fashioned. I don't know how he doesn't know it was an old fashioned.
Because
he thinks it was.
Because his wife orders for him.
Oh, there you go.
Well, he's busy.
Not denying that.
Him and his son are busy racing to see who can finish the placemat puzzles first. Nick needs a win.
We're going to need an old-fashioned...
I'm sorry, Nick! No, Nick! Nah, we're going to play that later. All right, so we'll play a little bit of that later. Because Nick, I'm not the one who offended Nick the most yesterday. It's no one in the show.
That's right.
Someone else offended
Nick
more than anyone else.
I can't wait for that. That's
Yeah,
good. That's a good story.
Yeah, you know what it is. No one on this show.
Oh, yeah.
No one on this show. I wouldn't spring it on you.
Yeah,
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Would that be necessary? Now they're filming. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Ah, got it. Ah. Would you like to hang out with Sarah? Would you like to stay at her house?
Well, my schedule's pretty stacked. When I come, there's the other people I got to see that I haven't seen in years.
It's okay.
So, I mean, she's a lovely lady.
Would you stay with her? Is there a circumstance where you'd stay with her?
Yeah, if it's a circumstance where I'm like, oh, it looks like I have more time than I expected, I can change the flight back, if something were to happen, I could probably, it would be nice to have like a friend.
Inconceivable circumstance that he'd push the flight back.
Odd, too, that Adolfo also sounded like he had been doing some drinking yesterday morning, but he almost certainly had not. That's just kind of the way he talks.
He might have the night before.
Oh, okay, a little bit of a holdover.
I mean, you come to find out that sleeping doesn't completely remove alcohol from your system. I mean, it still needs to be metabolized at the same rate.
I understand.
That's why Stallworth got the DUI. I mean, he had gone out the night before. He was gone to sleep. He'd woke up. He assumed that it was all out of his system, and it hadn't been.
So that's where we stand. Adolfo versus Sarah yesterday. The voting started as soon as the segment ended. How many votes did we do on this one?
It did. So this is interesting because as we noted in our post-show meeting yesterday, hundreds of people piled on, started voting right away, and it was a razor-thin margin. It was first it was Sarah from Everett in the lead, 51-49, and then that flip-flopped. It was Adolfo in the lead, 51-49. But as the day went on, hundreds more came through, and we did end up. I have it. It's okay, Nick. I have it. We ended up with. Adolfo did pull away, and he did win with 57% of the vote over Sarah's 43%. It's the power of Adolfo and his legacy on this show.
Am I a bad boy?
All right, so Adolfo is one. Now, here's the deal, is that it's Guy from Machine versus Adolfo. Now, so far, we've just kind of introduced you to the people or caught up with the people you already knew. Now it is time to have them actually contribute to the show. So Adolfo will be given a task that he could easily do. If he doesn't do it, he's just going to lose.
Yeah.
But if he cares at all about winning, he has plenty of time. He's going to have to do a task that will benefit the show and give us some audio. And then we have a plan for the Guy from Machine. Nicholas is going to go visit him this weekend. So certainly we will have audio from Guy from Machine. That is a guarantee.
Question for you, Fred. What is the what's the better way to get Adolfo to get some audio? Me reaching out to him or you reaching out to him? Okay.
Me.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Because I talked to Adolfo anyway, so he's listening now. So, Adolfo, and look, no one's happier than I am, and I mean this sincerely, that Adolfo seems to have a lot going on. I'm not offended when he can't go out to like a Mavericks game or something, because I do like the idea that Adolfo has a social life and is working in Dallas.
Is that so?
It is so, Adolfo, and I mean that sincerely. So it doesn't annoy me, but and look, I gave you this in the meeting. If he decides not to do any of this, then we'll just have the Guy from Machine audio and we'll play it and it will be over.
That's crazy.
But Adolfo's very capable of getting street audio in whatever
And it's good when he
fashion.
does. We want that. We want to fill blocks, Adolfo, if you're listening.
Yeah, so this Adolfo, we're going to give you you have 4 or 5 days, to go out You know, you got some ideas written in your notebook. We know that, Adolfo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. So we were going to have Adolfo versus Guy from Machine. When will this all be wrapped up? Next week. When will we have the Guy from Machine audio? Have we decided? Is that Tuesday or Monday?
Probably went Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay, Tuesday or Wednesday, and then Adolfo
Machine
would be Thursday, and then we would announce the winner on Friday. Okay.
I like scruff.
Very good. So there you go. Adolfo very well might
Is a very seductive number.
Wow. I'm excited, for what essentially will be the final showdown, see what both people bring to the table for the show.
Yeah, and there's nothing like that May-December situation that we had where we had a prize and, people had to come in, and thankfully that worked. But I will tell you this one last time. Sarah from Everett coming in here for an hour, that only happens on the radio. Now, did you like it? Did you not like it? It doesn't matter. But a live detonating a bomb like that live on a mass media does not happen on television, and it certainly does not happen on podcast. There's no stakes. This is a government-owned. They still control the content, and you've got Sarah from Everett drinking away on the air.
Mm-hmm.
That's radio. And it ain't easy. You all think it's so easy. You think it's so easy.
It was a long hour, really a long 2
All of us were tired at the end of the show.
It's not easy for us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of uncertainty that comes with that.
Great meeting, Sarah, though, and thank you again for coming in yesterday.
And thank you for faking losing your phone. And it's a good thing that Hardy had your number so we could find out that you indeed were holding it. You had not left it in the studio. It was on your person. All right. Very good. Maybe she had a lot of bags. All right. We will be back, and when we do Cedric Maxwell. Now, here's why it's interesting to talk to Cedric Maxwell. There's this big, is it Netflix? I know it might be HBO, whatever it is. Bill Simmons, strangely enough, has produced a very long but apparently very good documentary on the Boston Celtics, and Cedric Maxwell, of course, was interviewed. And, of course, when he's interviewed, there's interesting things that come up. So we got some good stuff to talk to Cedric about because, honestly, these Celtics, listen, it's all conversation till the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's talk to Cedric about all this stuff coming right up.
More Toucher and Hart.
That was totally out of character for him.
I see the tape now where I elbow Andrew Toney in the mouth. He's holding his mouth. The ball goes out of bounds. Daryl Dawkins pushes me out of bounds, and I run into this fan. And then he says, I can hear him as I'm going back. He says, get back in the f***ing game. What'd he say? All of a sudden, it clicked in my head. What did he say to me? And I jumped back over the cameraman and went over and gave him a flying forearm.
Maxwell goes into a crowd and goes after a fan.
I've never had to fight in a war, but that's as close as I've come to wanting to just kill somebody, because that's how mad I was with the Sixer fans, Dr. J, Dawkins, with the whole thing.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and that is the voice of Cedric Maxwell. He's featured prominently on Celtic City. It's a documentary going on HBO right now. Bill Simmons produced it. He likes the Celtics. Apparently, it's very well done. And Cedric is, of course, a star in it because he's one of the most charismatic people that you could get. Cedric Maxwell, of course, we have him as our color analyst on 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network, and he joins us every Friday at this time. Hello, Cedric.
Yeah, hello, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. How long did you talk to the documentary crew for?
I think that it was probably close to an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah.
That they had me in, and they cut up, spliced things and bits and pieces and came up with whatever they came up with. I have not seen it yet, the documentary. I just saw one when they had the Celtics had a premiere for it, and I saw one segment, and that was segment, I want to say number 5 or 6. That was after the Celtics won the championship. So 85, 86 is the one I saw.
Okay, so, but the guy in the crowd said more to you than that, right? More than just get the F back in the game?
I'm still in litigation right now.
Okay. All right, yeah. Because we've talked to you about it, and it's even worse than that. But nonetheless, all right. So that happened. We've already discussed that with you. It's a famous thing. Mm-hmm. And, the Pistons and the Timberwolves had a little fracas, and there were some suspensions that were laid out. What do you like? Do you like that in the NBA? Do you, and the Pistons are pointing at their jerseys, and they're like,
I love it.
Yeah, they're trying to get back to that identity of the bad boys and all that stuff. Go ahead.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it brings a little bit more flavor to the game. Guys aren't really punching to hurt anybody. I understand what the commissioner is doing, but how many times do we? Which I hate to be that person again, but I go back to hockey has a fight every single night, the National Hockey League, every night. But nobody ever points to that. They have a little fracas in the NBA, and oh my God, the world has stopped. That's kind of idiotic. I don't understand how, one could be so bad, but the other one is okay.
I'm wondering.
And don't tell me this crap about, it's the nature of the game in hockey. The nature of the game in NBA or in basketball was to kick the other guy's ass.
It's a physical game, you're right. And it used to be more physical. Why, in your opinion, then, is the NBA so concerned about these dust-ups? Like, I heard Stephen A. Smith talking about it, and he's like, I like it, but if this keeps happening, the commissioner is going to step in, and they're going to make it even more kind of like pussyish, for lack of a better term.
You want to use that word, I'll go with it. But, that's just the nature of the game. They're trying to make it more fan-friendly towards people who come to see the game.
But I would love it. Wouldn't everyone like that? That's why you go.
I do. I love it. You know what? The best time I've seen that Joe Mazzulla got excited was one time this year when Jason Tatum started grabbing the basketball from somebody else after a dead ball, and they were going back and forth, and Tatum got in a little dust up. And it wasn't much of anything, but Joe loved it because if the Celtics are going to win series or win another championship, Jaylen Brown is getting nastier at every moment. I want to see Jason Tatum. I've said that many times before. The same way. He said, well, I'm not like that. Well, yeah, you kind of are. I mean, you didn't necessarily grow up in the Hamptons. You grew up in St. Louis. So, there's a difference. And a lot of things happen when he played. I just hope some of that comes out of him, the frustration, not to the point of swinging, because he already has, I think, 14 technicals. So you can't afford, right now, I guess you could, but it starts over during the playoffs. But, yeah, there's something to be said about, a little dust up. I love those.
Well, all right. In a day and age where you have a lot of NBA players, screaming at people from a distance and then hold me back. We've talked about Draymond Green a lot on this show. What is your opinion about Draymond Green and how he goes about his business?
Draymond Green is brilliant at what he does. He's very much like, you're going to love this one. This will be a hot take. Very much like Donald Trump, deflects. Donald Trump says, look, I'm running for a third term. He said there's no way he can win have a third term, but he's saying that to get away from the Spygate thing he had. He said 3/3 of the Senate would have to approve it, 3/3 of the states would have to approve it, and he'd be 82 years old by the time this got around. But he deflects. The same went with Draymond Green. When this team is not playing well, he goes at the opposition. And he did it, when the Celtics played and Jaylen Brown was going well when they played him during the championship. Celtics had a chance to win, I want to say game 3, or it's game 2 or game 3 in San Francisco. And Draymond kicked Jaylen Brown in the head. And that series was never the same again.
I'd like to think he was that calculated about it, Max. I mean, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, especially as a Michigan State guy. But there are times when he picks up that second flagrant in the postseason and he ends up missing a game here or there. It does oftentimes lead to the detriment of the team. It's not necessarily something that always goes on to more success for his teammates.
Well, let me ask you this. Did they not sign him to another long-term deal?
Oh yeah, they've done the calculus on it, and they figure he's worth it.
They calculated exactly what was going on with Jaylen. I mean, with him, and said, "Hey, this is where we're at. He is going to be a guy that's going to stir the pot. Draymond is going to stir the pot, and we're going to win championships because of him stirring the pot." Some teams calculate that in.
If he was a Celtic, he would have his number retired here.
Well, he's going to get his number retired in Golden State. But
what I'm saying is, if Max,
they'd be retired now.
Yeah, if Draymond Green was a Celtic, first of all, Red Auerbach would have loved him, and second of all, he would be a legend here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that people who stirred things up and done things like that, Jungle Jim Luskatoff didn't have the best game in the world, but he has his jersey retired. Why? Because he was Jungle Jim Luskatoff. He would get in there and he would scrap and he would brawl. He would knock you on your ass. Those things happen. That was greatly loved by Red Auerbach, and that's why his jersey was retired. And it wasn't even that. His jersey, I think at some point it wasn't the number, but they had his name up there, Lusky.
That's right.
Lusky is what they have up there. No other names are up there except for his, because he wasn't the best player in the world. He didn't score, but he beat the crap out of you, and people love that.
Well, Draymond Green's was a phenomenal college player. Let's not forget. I mean, Tom Izzo at the end of tournament games had him playing point guard because he didn't trust anyone else with the ball. All right, Hardy, we have another clip of Cedric from the documentary. I believe you have it, or does Adam?
I can play it if you need me to. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a clip of Cedric nicknaming a very famous.
I have it.
Do you have it? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Take it.
Yeah. You're responsible for a great nickname, Max.
Chief. He was that quiet assassin. Chief. Famous movie called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and the big Indian there called him Chief.
Let's play some ball now.
And that just resonated with me. I started calling him Chief, and then everybody else started calling him Chief.
First of all, it's Native American. How dare you?
You know what? It's Indigenous American. How dare you?
Oh, boy. Ooh, you doubled down.
You
are the someone's on point. Go ahead.
Let's triple down on it. It's the people who own this damn country, and now we're here just visiting, okay?
Max, you've outdone us all.
Okay.
All right. Is it true that you named Robert Paris chief?
Yes.
Okay. Does it annoy you when something like, I'm being serious, does it annoy you when something that takes off and you don't get credit?
No. You're not going to get credit for everything you do. The only time you get credit for stuff you do all the time or don't do, that's when you'll love this, when you have an ex-wife. That's the only time you get credit for everything or anything that you might have thought about doing.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't bother me at all that, I don't get the credit for it. Now, if they were handing out some damn dollars for that, Johnny Wallach, I'd be pissed off right now that I didn't get my fair share. But I haven't seen anybody come to him with the whole thing, Chief, the Native American, all this. I haven't seen that yet. Him getting money.
It's a great nickname, and it's great that you came up with it. But what is really interesting to me is the cultural phenomenon that was that movie. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You watch it now, Max, and it's quiet, and it's this character study. But this was a movie that you saw as a young man and knew about, and I assume like everybody saw it when it was in the theaters.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that movie like sweeping everyone up and sweeping everybody's imagination up if it came out today?
I mean, I really, and I think it could because of the characters in it, like Chief, like Jack Nicholson, what he did. It was a really dark kind of satire of a guy who was trying to beat the system, Jack Nicholson, who was, acting like he was kind of crazy and was in this loony bin. And then finally they gave him a lobotomy. And
spoiler alert.
Yeah, and well, if you're going to see
everyone's
it,
read the book.
God knows. If you're going to see it, God bless you. If you haven't seen it now, God bless you. Go watch the Flintstones, all right? That's the case.
Well, don't tell him that Barney gets a hole in one with a putter, because that happens in front of Mr. Slate.
I'd rather go with, now, who's the finest? Was it Betty or Roma? Which one was the finest?
Betty, and it was deliberate.
Okay,
I mean, they had to give Barney something because he was the classer act. I'll tell you why that movie resonated, because in the 70s, film studios, Robert Evans and those producers, it was a director's world, and there wasn't an anti-culture, which is what is now. And what I mean by that is that people are willfully and proudly ignorant now and unread, and they consume no art, and they're proud of it. In fact, it's an insult now to call someone educated, which is, it really is. It's an insult.
That's really true. I mean, that is really true. If you use a couple of big words or choice words, people are like, damn, what, you being snooty? Why can't you use something? So
it's been weaponized.
I think that with this movie, if you went back to watch it and just saw how it was made and how Jack Nicholson performed in it, it was just brilliant. And he's been brilliant in a bunch of different, was it A Few Good Men is one of those, You Can't Handle the Truth, that I love Jack as an actor. He's one of my all-time favorites. I mean, as him and Denzel Washington are 1-2 or 2-1, whatever it is.
Yeah, Cedric did acid with Ken Kesey,
Oh,
writer of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He was at one of those acid tests.
You know what? And you say that on radio, there will be somebody who will ask me sometimes tonight, hey, when were you doing the acid with Kesey? What the hell are you talking about?
And then you can sue Beasley. Everyone will
people believe it. They hear stuff and they believe it.
Yeah, people selectively listen.
What if we told you that you could somehow make money off of the rumor that you did acid with Ken Kesey? Would you be up for it then?
I'm sniffing right now. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Hey, I'm in, big fella.
All right. Well, Cedric, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. We love having you on, and obviously you're so charismatic. You were so great in the documentary, the highlight, and we appreciate all your time. And we'll talk to you next week and talk about the Celtics as the playoffs get going. Thank you so much.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good one.
Thanks, Max.
And goodbye, Mrs. Wallach.
I'll pass that along.
Does she
Max.
listen to Cedric because she knows she's going to get a shout out?
Probably. I haven't talked to her about it, but yeah, probably.
Oh, Cedric, the lack of communication in that home. They don't even talk about it. That's not a good sign, is it, Cedric? Or is he already gone?
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. The money, he stopped.
Time's up.
Time's up.
I did my 20 minutes. Time's up.
Well, no, he'll stay on for as long as you want, but when it's done, he doesn't mind getting off.
No.
All right. Here's the deal. Someone at the station will relive very briefly my meltdown, my controlled meltdown, which I came back to earth very quickly.
Absolutely kept it together.
Yeah, there's no question. And we'll do that quickly. But Nicholas's biggest, I guess, affront to Nicholas The most disrespectful thing to Nicholas did not come from me yesterday. In fact, it came from no one in the building right now, from my knowledge. We will explore this and find out and maybe speculate as to why coming up in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub.
$5.
Cough it up, and let's get back.
But did he even go on?
I'll find out. My buddy Glenn is in a band that opened for him, so I'll shoot Glenn a text and see how it went down last night.
Is this true? Shams Charania revealed a Celtics attempted to make a blockbuster trade for Kevin Durant back in 2022, with reports surfacing the Suns wanting to trade KD. The trade was Kevin Durant for Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and a first-round pick.
Yes, he did say that. And there were some rumors that the Celtics were sniffing around Durant and he didn't want to go. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but ultimately, Brooklyn traded him for 5 first-round draft picks and Mikal Bridges. They didn't do too badly. But the Celtics have been around some really interesting trades, and they didn't happen. And because they didn't happen, they won a championship. Like, for example...
Well, it's interesting, just really quickly.
Yeah.
They still win a championship if they make that Durant trade.
I think without Derek White, that's different. I think Derek White was a big part of what they did last year. And if you don't have him there, I'm not sure you win.
Interesting. You don't think Kevin Durant makes up for
Well, if
the
you
absence?
have just Durant and Jason Tatum, obviously 2 of the best 10 players in the league, but you also need help from your role players. And without Derek White, I'm not sure they win the whole thing. I'm not.
Interesting.
I'm not sure they win it. Now, 10 years ago, Danny Ainge had a deal done for Jimmy Butler when he was in Chicago. It was a first-round pick in 2016 for Jimmy Butler. The Bulls came back and said, no, we want first-round picks in 2016 and 2017, and Ainge turned them down, and those 2 first-round draft picks turned out to be Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
What was this thing that the show wanted someone wanted Anthony Davis for... It's just over and over. I blocked it out. Anthony Davis...
They wanted to bring Anthony Davis here at one point.
For whom?
I'm trying to remember.
For Tatum?
I don't think it was Tatum.
Oh.
That might be before Tatum. I'm trying to remember.
No, I don't think it was before.
I don't remember. I'd have to
think
look.
that was a COVID situation.
Yeah.
2019,
that's all blocked
Celtics reportedly a potential suitor for Anthony Davis. Lakers won the trade.
No, it was more in the room than it was anything else.
Celtics reported, weren't willing to part with players like that. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So listen, yesterday, this happened. Nick, can you even move? Sarah from Everett obviously is here. And the whole thing was that Hardy and us have never seen her. And now I can still see her. Nick, I can see her. Like, I don't know. So Nick puts her like a genius in front of our window. Nick, I can see her. Nick, I can see Sarah from Everett. I can see her. Put her on the other.
Avert your eyes, sir.
Put her on the. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, oh my God. So he brings Sarah from Everett in. No. I want to talk to Adam.
Upset. You're the one upset.
Yeah, I am upset.
That was not relayed to me at all.
Who
you
put her in the?
Sit her in the conference room, and I did. I can't help that. You can see her. Still from
she's
the
waving.
conference room.
Sarah, Fred doesn't want to see you until 8 o'clock. So
he can't help. You can't help if I can see her. Put her someplace we can't see her.
Okay, this is all new to.
No, it's not new to you, Sarah. Get away, Sarah. Stop doing that. Get her out of there! God, are you so slow with your drinking at noon on Mondays? That was warranted. and by slow, I meant slow moving. Like, why didn't he? Like, he was just staring at me.
Okay,
instead of putting her where we couldn't see her.
I speak Fred stutter, and you were getting ready to say dumb, and then you almost said stupid, and then you switched it up to slow. There were 2 words you
can't
wanted
prove
to say.
That.
But I know it.
You don't know that.
I know
you don't
it in my
know
heart.
anything. You can't. That's all conjecture and straight gaslighting, really.
I know it in my heart. Now that I hear it, the reason is Sarah's where we can see her while I'm talking to Nick. So instead of going and moving her, Nick's staring at me with a blank look on his face. I can see her. That was what was the frustration. But do you see how I went from yelling to my jovial self right away? It's almost
No, Nick! It's like stopping on a dime. Listen to this.
God, are you so slow with your drinking at noon on Monday?
There was a hesitation there. I think Hardy might be.
But then I top it. I punch it up with a joke.
No, you reeled it back in and then you punched it up. Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's just
There was no reeling that in.
This is
but you don't understand. So what the audience might not understand is I wasn't going, oh, Nick, you put her somewhere where we can see her, and freaking out about that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see her.
I was freaking out about he had put her somewhere we could see her. We made the request to move him somewhere we couldn't see her. I could still see her, and I said, "Can you move her? I can still see her."
Right.
And he just sat there looking at me.
Well, this is rattling some things loose. Revisiting this for Nicholas, who just informed me that he had asked when you asked him to move Sarah to one of the 10 chairs in the conference room where she couldn't be seen instead of the one she could be seen in. She said no to him and was like a little bit playful about it with him.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but that wasn't. But still. Regardless, she's the guest. This is our building. She has to do what he says.
I can't help that.
But
you can
that
see her.
But that's not being related to me in any way, shape, or form by him, or not related to you either in any way, shape, or form. So my frustration, which I got over very quickly.
You're the one upset.
I was. He's right there. But he's looking at, I'm telling him, like, dude, like, okay, you don't have to justify why it happened before. Just move her now.
No.
And he's standing in another room, a different room from her.
He's looking at me like I'm crazy,
and he's looking at me just with a gap mouth. Like,
that was not relayed to me at all.
And that's what got me upset.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we listen. But so anyway, Nick and I made up. I boldly, as a true leader, apologized.
And anyways,
warranted or not my outburst, I did apologize.
No.
Nick and I, as a true leader, and girls who are taping this show and have completely lost interest in it very quickly, I was a true leader, but nonetheless, I was not the one who offended Nick the most. Now, here's what happened. It's really it was a nice gesture. There were all these last week. There were all these laminates sitting on a common table at the station. And they were all laminates for the Worcester Red Sox with our names on them. And they were press passes, which is great. You know, you want to take your kids. I'm sure you have a press pass. You can go, hey, I want to take my kid. You get in for free. You enjoy a Woo Sox game. It's supposed to be a great park. So we're all in the post-show meeting, and we all have our laminates. And we're not really even discussing it. It's just kind of nice that it happened.
But everybody got one.
Ryan got one.
Ryan Beaton got one. 12 got one. We all got one.
They were in, like, basically everyone on staff or behind the scenes on the air got one. But
T-Bone Milliken, obviously, Zoe, Beetle, everybody got one.
But Nick then says, I didn't get one. And so we didn't think it was that big a deal, and we forgot about it.
It was kind of funny that he got snubbed or forgotten.
Right. And we're like, and probably I said, do you want one? Because I can immediately get one for you. If anything's wrong, let me fix it. I probably did that. And you guys probably went, Fred, enough with this. Kindness.
No.
And but then what we found out is this morning when I was getting ready, we all get a group text from Nick finding out who was in charge of getting those laminates.
Yes, and this was, to my mind, not a mistake. This was all very calculated. Does someone want to actually read the text?
I can.
Or
if you want me to.
read the letter that we have the photo of here. I can read it. I got it.
Yeah, you got it in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay, got
it. Okay. This is on Woo Sox letterhead. Dear young, sickly Nicholas Gemelli, who was once found in bed by your then girlfriend, naked, covered in your own ... Well, you understand. J. Stu did not have your name on the list. Might be something to address with HR. See you at Polar Park, Ben, public address announcer.
So Nick was deliberately left off the list of people who got Woo Sox passes because we know, I can't remember why, nor do I particularly care, but James Stewart and Nick have beef. But I don't think Nick has beef with James as much as James has beef with Nick.
It dates back, and this will be 30 seconds. It dates back to a get-together we had at the Loon over Christmas. And back then, you guys sent Nicholas up to maybe record a couple of the conversations or have Nick interview a couple of people. Jay Stu saw Nick with his recorder, was not happy with him that this wasn't a private function and sacred, and since then has not been happy with Nicholas.
Yeah, the Loon is kind of a place where boys will be boys. It's the clubhouse, and you don't come taping at the clubhouse.
By the way, Nicholas wasn't bothering anybody. He was just sitting there.
Right.
Jay Stu not happy.
You don't show up at a Skull and Bones meeting with a camcorder. You just don't do it.
Like, guys, I know we're on the radio. Jokes aside, we're at the Loon.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was.
Andy Wong is here. We don't need to be taped. None of this needs to be on the record. I understand. Well, hopefully you guys can work it out. But that mystery has been solved.
By the way, that dinner was about 12 years ago. So Jay Stu has hung on to this for a while.
No, listen.
Oh, crush me, please, Mommy.
It involved the Loon, and, feelings get hurt at the Loon. Let's be honest. Boobs are revealed, and feelings get hurt at the Loon. All right, Kendra Middleton is here. She's now talking to the girls that are doing the project, and they've lost
Sarge GPT says, keep the Kowloon out of your mouth.
Boy, have these girls lost interest. It's really something else.
I can't imagine why.
All right, so we'll be back in just a moment with Kendra.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Low testosterone causes a host of problems. These include a low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. And the reality of this is these could be a result of your testosterone not being as high as it was when you're younger. The reality of the situation is, as a rule, men, as we age, our testosterone output gets lower. Now, you can go to northeastmenshealth.com and you can set up an appointment to have your testosterone measured. And if it's fine, they'll tell you it's fine and enjoy yourself. I mean, they can give you Cialis and stuff too, but regardless, they can tell you to be on your way. If your testosterone's low, as mine was, then you can talk about testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, as the kids say on the web. And there's a bunch of ways they can administer it. It's a long process that, or you can take it often, or you can take it once a week. There's a bunch of ways you can do it. So simply go to northeastmenshealth.com and get on the TRT train. A choo-choo.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is your home for every Patriots game.
Look into the end zone, trying to keep the play alive. Falling down, he goes to the end zone. It's got it! Touchdown!
WBZ-FM at HD Boston. 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Make it 10 straight losses for the Bruins. They came up short in Montreal last night, 4-1. Elias Lindholm scored, but that was after the Bruins were already down 3-1. They managed a total of 19 shots on net. Joe Sacco said afterwards his problems last night weren't at the goaltender.
Yeah, no, I thought he was really good tonight. I thought that he gave us a chance. Was able to let us hang in there for a while there. And you're right, the last couple of games he's been playing well.
Bruins only have 6 games left now. They play Carolina at TD Garden tomorrow night. Celtics had last night off. They host Phoenix this evening. Jaylen Brown is listed as questionable. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Red Sox beat the Orioles in Baltimore yesterday 8-4. They finish up their season-opening 7-game road trip with a record of 3-4. Walker Buehler will start this afternoon when the Sox play the home opener against St. Louis. And the Patriots traded Joe Milton and a 7th-round draft pick to Dallas yesterday in exchange for a 5th-round selection. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Mass Energy. This past winter, the Massachusetts Energy Marketers Association kept hundreds of thousands of customers safe and warm during heating oil and clean, renewable bioheat fuel. For more information about bioheat fuel and heating equipment rebates, visit massenergymarketers.org. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
New England plays here.
Down the right side, there's a separation. Touchdown pass. Perfect dive from Draymond.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy.
Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy, and you can watch us on YouTube. Kendra Middleton's here, so the views always go up because there's a female in the studio, and Kendra is attractive, and everyone gets excited. So Kendra, she's a big internet sensation and a gambling big whoop-to-do. My daughter's here. 2 of her friends who go to Newton North are here, and they're making a video. The video is focused on me. They had a camera running in between breaks when I didn't know it, so that's good. And also, the lack of interest, though. It took them how long, Hardy? 80 minutes before they completely just didn't care anymore?
I'd say we almost made the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
But it's definitely before the halfway point of the show.
And just like when Bird started building his own home entertainment system while he was answering phones because he was so bored by the show.
Yeah.
You never realize just how mundane and boring you are than when people come to visit and they realize very quickly this is it.
There used to be quite a parade of people who would come through early years of the Sports Hub because they would auction off and they would do it for charity, like sit in on Zolak and Bertrand, sit on Felger and Matt.
Well, they used to do that with us too.
Yeah, and I felt so bad for those people because after the first 20 minutes, you get it. Oh, I see you guys talking in there.
Yeah.
And then I see you go to commercial where, depending on the show, the hosts just sit there in silence and don't speak to each other.
Depends on how far we were along.
Yeah, and then it's after the first hour, you could see the look on these people's faces like, oh, I got 3 more hours of this.
Yeah, we always did it for an hour, but just so I get credit, I bought them all breakfast.
Oh, look at you.
Okay, from where?
Downstairs.
The cafe. It's nice.
I think, Kendra, I don't think you should throw stones. I think that was a very nice gesture.
Hey, it depends from where. Okay.
Downstairs.
What was the total bill?
Good food down there.
Yeah, see, Hardy's curious too. Don't yell at me.
I didn't even ask.
Oh, wow.
You are something.
I didn't even ask.
Would you just hand over the credit card?
You got that right.
Oh, man. Look at you.
Why not? You know, you only go around this crazy place once. You know, you only live so long. Just the smiles on those young ladies' faces when I said, you can get breakfast downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, we don't have any money. And I went,
don't worry.
It's on me.
Uncle Freddie's.
And they go, what's the
Freddie.
cap on it?
Yeah.
And I go, well, I can't hear you. I go ahead. And they went nuts. Oh, the feast. It is really something. It tickles me pink. All right, Kendra. There's not a lot going on gambling. We'll tackle that next segment. We were going to do this yesterday, but we'll just do it here and you can play along if you'd like. All right, Adam, what's the deal?
Yeah, so Nicholas found this find from Up Rocks, the music blog, not to be confused with Up Dog. No takers on the Up Dog joke? Okay, fine.
Unbelievable.
It's called the 20.
Did you even get it?
Yeah, I knew what he was doing.
I don't even get it, but go ahead.
It's called the 21st Century Music Videos That Changed the Game. I'll just give you a little bit of the blurb they put here. The music video has changed a lot since the turn of the century. Labels no longer spend millions of dollars on Michael and Janet Jackson videos, and YouTube and social media have replaced MTV, but with lower budgets and less of a reliance on corporations comes higher creativity and the ability for artists to release music videos on their own terms. So we have a handful of music videos from the early 2000s to the present that I'm going to give you guys a hint on, and you're going to try to guess what that music video is. These are all very iconic music videos.
Okay.
I think I'm going to rank these right now. I think Fred's going to do best.
Okay.
I think Wallach will be second. Kendra will be third. I will be fourth.
Okay.
I think I'm going to finish in last.
Okay, so Kendra and I years ago did a Spotify thing together where like our Spotify like songs go into a co-playlist.
It's a blend.
A blend, and I didn't.
Fred
know,
told me he thought I had crappy taste in music.
It's gotten way worse. All right, so here we go.
Wait, do you have this playlist pulled up now, Fred?
I do.
Okay.
I don't have to play the songs because I will tell you this, is that she has stuff from like Blue Oyster Cult on here. It's a real disaster.
Oh, Don't Fear the Reaper.
I
Hell
love
yeah.
Blue Oyster
Burning
Cult.
for You?
Yeah. So
I
like,
tried to go see them in Vegas for New Year's last year, but
they
nobody
all
wanted
died.
That's a Florida
Nobody
girl right
wanted
there.
to go with me.
That is a Florida girl right there.
Yeah. So it go, but my daughter's stuff is on here. I don't even know what's yours. You have the Talking Heads.
Oh.
Duran.
It's Talking Heads, know that.
Oh, Duran. There's some good Duran.
She is the Rock the Casbah by the Clash. She goes combat rock. It's unappealing. All right. So very good. Let's get to the game.
Okay, so first up we have a collaboration between one of the most famous rappers of the 2000s and an artist that had a little bit of a hit or so on Top 40 and alternative radio, but not quite. This was actually, ironically, her biggest hit, and it wasn't her song. So which music video am I speaking of?
Oh,
I didn't know I wasn't paying attention, so I lost track.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I
this
thought
was
that you
the
were going
game.
to play it, and we had to guess
Yeah,
who
no,
it was.
Because
I was on
you'll know what it is.
okay.
Right
So
was
it's
on
a
Kendra's team.
'90s rapper collaborating.
2000s rapper collaborating with a late 90s, early 2000s. I guess
Pop
you'd say
star.
pop singer, but not quite a star.
And this was her big. Oh, it's Eminem and Dido.
That is right.
Whoa! How about that?
So give one to Hardy.
Sandbagging.
Oh, you got the.
Say, was it funny?
I think Pete Davidson's funny, but it wasn't. No, it's bad.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this song is by an electronic artist from the late 90s, early 2000s.
Fatboy Slim.
That is, what's the name of the song? Do you remember?
Rockefeller Skank.
Incorrect.
No. It's the one with Christopher Walken
That's
dancing
correct.
around, and it is. It's a Fatboy
Walken,
Slim.
yeah.
Christopher Walken. I get credit for it.
It's the Boogeyman file. It's the what is it?
Weapon of choice.
Weapon of choice.
Of course it is.
By the way, I got that in like 2 words.
Yes.
You gave me too much credit thinking I would come in third for this.
Well, I mean, it's not as though this
Well,
music
but
escaped
the
you.
reason I brought up your
Right?
playlist is based on your playlist. You span decades.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So here we go. All right, let's go.
That is a great music video. I'm watching that right now.
Yeah.
And I actually need to.
He killed Natalie Wood.
I pulled a Wallach here. I don't have my tab muted, so you heard a little.
That's what they say about Christopher Walken. They said he's really the one that killed Natalie Wood.
And that was the joke we heard when we were kids. What's the only kind of wood that doesn't float? Natalie. And I didn't get it.
Yeah, but it's apparently a lot of people think Christopher Walken is to blame. I didn't make it up.
So I have to be careful about how I give a hint to this one because if I give it the wrong way, it'll give it away too quickly. So
That's
I'll
the
say
whole thing with a hint, isn't
that
it?
this, yes, correct. That this
Christ.
particular this is a groundbreaking music video.
Yeah.
From the early 2000s, and the project features a member of a popular 90s alternative band.
Okay, it's on your playlist. It's on your playlist.
So let's give this one to Kendra. Do you want another hint? I'll give you another hint.
It's literally, I just
Kendra.
read it on your playlist.
So again,
it's
Kendra,
on our co-playlist.
This is just listen to me.
I've never seen music
Kendra,
videos,
it's okay.
though.
Listen, that's interesting. You don't watch music videos at all?
No, I was in.
They're
like,
on YouTube, but
yeah,
like,
but I was in like preschool when all of this came
but
out.
I mean, I've seen performances from like Van Halen from when before I was
Just
alive.
give her hints until the point where she can get one, so she can get on the board.
Yes. So again, this is think early 2000s. Think this is a really, even if you weren't watching music videos, you couldn't avoid this music video. It features a member of a 90s Britpop band that bombed at Coachella last year. There's a good generational hint for you as well. And the video is animated. It is an animated music video.
So it's a guy who was in a band that was popular. Woohoo!
Yes.
And then
Song two.
And it's Kendra. It's literally.
I don't know.
Do you know if I actually?
I swear to God, guys. Look at the second song on this.
I got it.
Hardy,
All
look
right,
at my
Gorillaz.
phone.
This is Gorillaz.
Clint Eastwood.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the second band on our co-shared playlist, and I don't listen to the Gorillaz.
Okay.
All right, very good.
All right.
Kendra has one.
Well, Kendra's on the board with
Hardy
Gorillaz.
having pity for me just there was so nice.
Yeah.
Made you feel good.
Yeah.
Everyone's on their toes because Nick raised such a fuss getting yelled at yesterday.
Pity, annoyance, give it a name. All right.
I'll give you this one with the actual.
God, are you so slow?
I'll tell you what's in the music video. This is a short clip of a short song, and the music video is stop motion animation with Legos.
I know this one.
I fell in love with the girl, by the way.
There you go. White Stripes. I got that one.
White Stripes fell in love with
On the board.
I mean, you didn't say it, though, did you?
Well, I said it like two
No, I had to
seconds
get.
after
If he knew it, I had to be smarter than him.
All right.
I'll give Wallach one for that.
I knew that one.
All right.
I've got three more here.
Okay.
I'll get him right away.
So somebody's.
Don't worry.
So, I mean,
When I'm not guiding Kendra's hand, I can get him right away. Lickety split. That's
Okay.
my smart.
All right, tough guy.
I wasn't even paying attention to the first one.
2004 song that where were you? Were you still at?
Who cares?
I was
Go.
at 99X doing
All
mornings.
right, you played this on 99X, even though it's not, even though it's a rap song. You played this on 99X.
Black Eyed Peas.
That is incorrect.
all about the Benjamins.
This is also incorrect.
NERD.
2000. These are all good guesses. Let me give you one more. It is an artist that was a staple in your market, Fred.
Oh, it's not Bonzo. Oh, or is it
Designer.
Jackson?
You got the right artist.
Bonzo over Baghdad.
Right out of wrong song.
It's Outkast.
Yes.
It's Hey Ya.
Oh, Hey Ya. Yeah. All right. John gets a half point, and I get a half point.
Okay, you can split a point.
I'm not giving any points for
Well, we
Can we
played
give Hardy a
Outkast.
point for knowing designer?
Oh, man.
For knowing what?
Room.
Designer.
Yeah, we're going to play Panda coming out.
Yes,
of the next
Hardy. That's a terrible song, but it's also really catchy.
I love that song.
It's actually really good. It's like it's not good, but it's good.
I love it.
All right, two more. Kendra, this one is for you. I'm going to tell you that this is more in your wheelhouse, and it is a rap artist, and the video features big arms.
Big arms.
It's the big arms meme. Became a whole meme. It became a whole thing because of this.
What year is this?
This is also 2000.
I have no idea. Rap video, big arms.
Rap
meme.
video, big arms.
I'm gonna guess
meme.
it's 50 Cent just because he's yoked.
I was gonna guess 50 Cent too.
Comically big arms.
Heads up!
Ludicrous.
Let's get back from
Oh
those.
yeah.
Became a whole thing.
Okay.
I was in first grade.
Ludacris was Chris Lover on the Poon Daddy radio show. He did nights in Atlanta
Great
on the
name for
local
radio
radio. It was Poon Daddy with Ludacris, or Chris Lover. He was Chris something. It wasn't Ludacris yet. So he was around.
We'll leave it at that.
He was not famous.
No.
But Poon Daddy is now his right hand man. He kept Poon Daddy around after he got famous. Poon Daddy. doing nights at the hot station.
Still go by that name, does he?
Yep.
Last one?
Nah, it was the last one. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're
Give us
keeping
the point
score
total.
honestly, Fred, Kendra, and Wallach all got 1.5 points. I got 1. So I was right. Even though I lost, I was still right.
I got a video.
I think you did better than I did.
It's a big thing. John Landis directed it. It has a big beginning. There's a guy turns into
Blues
a
Brothers.
werewolf, and he's
American Werewolf in London.
And then there's a big dance thing, and they're dancing around. He's the king of pops in it, and he's
If you want to be my
I'm
lover.
an animal. Nope. And the girl, she's wearing a Letterman jacket, and she's she runs, and Vincent Price talks in it.
I know it. No, I know what it is.
He's talking. It's a big thrilling sensation.
Michael Jackson. Say.
No, not. It's not Paul McCartney and him on a hayride.
No. Ebony and Ivory.
No, Ebony and Ivory
Stevie
was
Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
With Paul McCartney, he said, "You know what's going to take me to the next level? Blacks." All right, so here we go. I've ignored them for so long. I finally can do things with them.
Okay, go ahead. More hints.
But then ultimately they're going to buy my catalog behind my back and kind of screw me. No, it's the video.
Interview with the Vampire.
No, it's Thriller. I made it difficult for you.
Oh, damn it.
All right, we will be back in just a moment. Kendra can talk gambling. There's some things to gamble on apparently, and we'll figure out what they are. F1 racing or something
it's the
of that
Final
nature.
Four, you guys.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, of course.
No one cares anymore. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Touch.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the sport.
Emily, go over by.
There's chairs.
Go over. Just kick John out of that chair. Get him out of here.
Here.
No one needs him. All right. Did you know that song? Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's start with who's the most ready to speak on a microphone? Who wants to talk? If anyone. If you don't want to talk,
This
you don't
one.
have to. Yeah, you seem like the one.
Yeah.
Get up on the microphone.
She's the one in charge.
All right.
So yes.
So very.
Okay.
Okay. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Emily.
All right. And what is the project you're doing today?
So we had to make a profile about someone we found interesting or amazing.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah, and that was whom?
Fred. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you guys asked, how did I react?
Sure.
Yeah. Nonchalant, like we're friends.
Yeah. He said, actually, you don't have to be so formal. Ha, ha, ha.
I didn't even use an emoji because I respected you. All right. Now, so you and obviously you've been captivated by the whole process. Now, you interviewed my daughter, correct?
Yes.
What'd you ask her?
We asked how amazing you are as a dad.
No, you didn't.
You didn't do that. Did
Yes,
you?
she
Did
did.
you do that?
And,
Yeah, we did.
And what did she say? You asked if I was a role model and an inspiration. What'd she say? Go ahead.
She said in certain aspects of life, yes.
Didn't sound really definitive.
Well, Zoe, come here. Zoe, my daughter, come here. Zoe, you were asked, what was the question you were asked about me?
Are you an inspiration in my life?
And what'd you say?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You know, it's not important that you say it because I know.
You just want to be complimented.
Thank you, Zoe.
Yeah.
All right. Dismissed.
Isn't it the
Thank you.
best? Daddy loves his compliments.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassing?
It's embarrassing.
Zoe, what's embarrassing you about this? Zoe, I've had to go number 2 the whole show.
It's embarrassing for all of us.
I've been holding it because you guys are here. Because I didn't want you guys to know I was taking a dump.
No, Dad, stop. Dad, stop. No, Dad.
All day, holding number 2. I could have made it at any point. But I knew that if I went to the bathroom, you guys would know I was taking a dump. I respected your friends in that way.
Dad, please.
Okay, very good. All right. Thank you to you two. I appreciate it. All right.
Hey.
And there is your project right there. Good. Very good.
You want to know how I know that Zoe and I are friends? My laptop is sitting here, and while she was talking, she just starts scrolling on my laptop.
Oh, really?
It's the way that's the way she deals with anxiety. She scrolls. All right. So Hardy needs to know what's going on with the Masters. Because the Masters is happening this Thursday at Augusta National Golf Course in Georgia. And by the time you come in next week, Kendra, it will be over. Now, Kendra had spent a lot of time researching this.
Yes, thank you.
4 minutes.
Well, I didn't consider that you guys would need this today.
When do you think we need it? Next Friday, once it's the second round is
you're
already
right.
started?
I should be better. You're right. I'm sorry.
All right.
So we were talking off the air.
You love top 5 finish bets.
I do.
In majors.
I think that's a great place to make money when you get ahead.
Okay.
Don't you agree? You had a bunch of them last year.
I bet the Masters really dumb. I pick like 8 guys, and I place a bet on all of them to win, and then I look to sell back 5 or 6 of them by Saturday.
Okay. So we were talking off the air, and I asked you if you were buying into the Rory is hot hype.
There's no doubt he's playing well right now, but I agree with Fred is that he's got some kind of a hiccup with the Masters.
I agree. So the thing about his odds, I was talking to Hardy off the air. So I think that Scotty top 5 minus 140 feels like free money. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
I think that is I don't want to say free money because you're not supposed to say that, but that feels like a really safe bet this early.
If you wanted to place one large bet on the Masters, I would say start with Scotty Scheffler, top 5 finish, minus 140.
Yep.
And you won't win a ton, but you might win enough to cover your other bets for guys to win.
Yeah. Okay, so I also like looking at the top 10 bets just because if you follow golf enough, I feel like if you follow who's been hot when, who's been playing what courses, those types of things, that's an easy place to make money when you look further down the boards. Min Woo Lee plus 350, don't hate.
God bless you.
That's very good.
Thanks.
I'm waiting for the Hardy to play the thing.
Yeah, you don't have to. Everyone knows. Everyone knows I told a zinger.
Cantlay, thank you. Cantlay plus 280, and then Fleetwood plus 230 for top tens.
I wouldn't go near those last two guys.
Okay. I like Minwoo at that number.
How many people did you just name? And I'm being serious.
3.
I have no idea.
Three.
Okay,
Minwoo Lee, Tommy Fleetwood, and Patrick Cantlay.
Outside of that,
why not? What is he? You gotta get it removed?
Okay.
I would say.
Why is he always standing up?
I would say my Scotty bet is my favorite. I'm probably going to put a decent chunk on that. Probably Minwoo top 10. And then I kind of...
Here's the problem with the top 10 bets at the Masters.
Okay.
Guys feel like they can win the Masters. And
then they go buck wild.
And they start getting a little silly starting around the 13th hole on the par 5. And they're like, I'm going to go for it here because I'm within 2 of the lead and I can make something happen. Next thing you know, you're in Rays Creek and your Masters dreams are dashed.
Dangerous. Yeah, you've gone by Eamon's Corner, and now you're in Rays Creek.
Yeah, very good, John.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Masters?
Once.
Oh, here we go.
How was the food?
That's always what I'm asking. I want that pimento
I don't
cheese
want
sandwich.
So cheap,
right?
it's like $1.
Or the azaleas or anything. I just want the food.
It's a delight, and it's very, very cheap. And you, there are no brand names because they consider that coarse. Why would we allow advertising? No, would you like...
The same way they treat minorities.
Would you like a domestic beer or an import beer? And those are your two choices. Would you like a cola? Would you like sweet tea? Perhaps you like diet cola. And they're all up there. And the egg salad, the pimento cheese. They've got a pork sandwich. They have cookies and popcorn, and that's it. And you can eat lunch
Cheap
for
too,
$5.
right? Yeah.
$5.
Did you
all in?
Did you see Scotty's Masters Club dinner?
Yes.
Yes.
What were your thoughts?
I thought it was fine. It is. I saw it listed today. It is the cheapest, like menu per person. I think it's going to cost like $108 per person.
That
which
makes
is
sense
the
for
cheapest
him.
One in
That makes
in
sense for
years.
him.
Yeah.
I didn't think the menu flowed, but I do like everything that's on there. Have you seen this?
We did it once, but
the
read it back real
Masters?
quick. if
Okay,
you got
so
it.
Scotty's meal: appetizers, cheeseburger sliders, and firecracker shrimp and meatballs and ravioli bites. First course, Texas-style chili. Main course, wood-fired cowboy ribeye or blackened redfish. Dessert, warm chocolate chip cookie skillet.
So I would love that meal. That'd be great.
I think I would vomit.
Why?
I'd be so full.
I don't understand what ravioli and meatballs means.
It's like the bites, like you know how like they fry like the raviolis or whatever. I'm assuming it's like that.
Is he from St. Louis?
I think he's from,
Because that's
he's
a
from
St.
Georgia,
Louis
right?
thing.
I don't know.
Fried ravioli is St. Louis. All right, look, we've talked already too much
Okay,
about the Masters.
sorry. Those would be
All
my
right.
Masters bets.
Final four.
On top of that, Final Four.
All right, so Auburn did beat Michigan State. Now the kid
and Duke covered.
Okay, and so the kid from Auburn, the big,
Janai Broom.
the 30-year-old kid that from Auburn.
Scheffler's from New Jersey.
Is
Does
he
that
really?
explain it?
No, then now he's just being a
That's
prick.
a weird menu then.
Yeah,
I thought he was a
he's-
Southern guy.
Yeah, he's just being
the
cute.
chili.
He's born
Yeah.
in New Jersey.
Yeah, and he's got Texas stuff on them. Go
What?
screw. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah,
you
who
should
do you
have
think
like
you
an
are?
Italian feast.
Exactly. You should be like that DeVito guy in the Giants.
Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, sell it out. Let's
Yeah.
go. Like
Wow.
that's what. There's no Sopranos
Well,
references.
honestly, that takes him down a peg for me. I was sitting here this whole time. Scotty Bad Boy gets arrested. Great father, great husband, married to like his elementary school sweetheart.
What a loser.
You're from New Jersey and you're doing a Southern style. Get out of here. I'm
Right.
out.
Yeah. At least do like a Zach Braff theme thing. All right. Go ahead.
So Janai Broom, yes, questionable. His opening numbers were ridiculous. I hit some unders. I think they opened at maybe 16 or 17. I like those unders.
What for points?
Yeah, what's going to happen is that people are probably waiting to get their money in to see if he's going to play. What's going to happen is it's going to come out that he's practiced, that he's playing, all that kind of stuff. People are probably going to wind up jumping more on Auburn for that. I know that the numbers publicly are on Florida right now, but I think that this is Florida's game. I think he's actually really injured. I don't think he should have come back into the game last weekend. I think
Well, he couldn't move his left. He couldn't move his left arm.
he was sitting there like he knew something was wrong.
Well,
wrong.
When he made the three, that was like the big moment.
Oh, yeah.
He couldn't move his left arm. Like he was keeping it like
and it was his
limp.
knee too.
Right. He had hyperextended his
Yeah.
arm. If you don't know, he had hurt his elbow come out of the game. And then he came in and he fouled, I think it was him that had committed the foul. And he fell, and he hyperextended his left elbow in one of his legs. And he told the cheating coach that he was leaving.
Bruce Pearl.
He had troubles at Tennessee. said to him, he goes, I'm not good to go. They were speculating. They had said that they follow him down the tunnel. And then the problem for him is Auburn, for 5 minutes, kept the lead. They kept the 10-point lead. So, like, when he came back in, it could have been this whole dramatic thing. But they weren't in any danger of losing that game. Michigan State was horrible. Horrible in that game.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is, because this has been the chalkiest tournament of all time, and this has been my championship game since the brackets came out, I get that it's going to be chalk to bet on the Florida money line and the Duke money line. So what I'm going to do, and I'm pretty anti-parlay. I've already done this for myself. I'm parlaying Florida and Duke to make it to the championship, both money lines. I think that that's the big play here. I think that's the smartest thing to do. Here's the thing. I like Houston.
Not very sexy.
Is there a way Houston could upset Duke?
Yes, but here, that's what I was just going to say. So here's the thing, though.
I'm sorry.
Houston's a team full of upperclassmen, right?
Right.
Bunch of juniors and seniors. They were there last year, upset by Duke in last year's tournament. That's the big thing. Duke has a bunch of young guys. When Cooper Flagg is covered by someone with any amount of length, I think that that's the best place you're going to be able to get him into trouble. But I think that this is going to be that Knippel's kids game. Like, it has to be, because they're going to put every ounce that they can of this Houston defense, which is probably the best defense that was in this tournament, on Cooper Flagg. So I like Knippel's overs. I've already taken those personally, but this game's going to be pretty low scoring. That's the thing. I just don't think that this is a Duke year. Unfortunately, I get the argument that there's a lot of seniority on Houston's team and they have the better defense. It just feels like it's a Duke year.
So can I tell you something that might change your mind? So in this statistical thing is, so Houston's been good for a while under Kelvin Sampson, right?
A couple of years. He always goes really deep into the tournament. He just can't get there.
Right. Okay. So they've always had a top defense, right? The last 3 years they've been in the 150th range in 3-point shooting. This year they can shoot 3-pointers.
Yeah.
So they actually have an offense. So I do believe that Houston can overwhelm Duke defensively, and it's going to be, obviously they're not going to blow them out, right? It's going to be a very low scoring game. And they have the ability to hit threes at the end to, like, that was not there in the past on these Kelvin Sampson teams.
Yeah.
I believe it is there this year. How about this? I like Houston to win.
Okay, so what you could do is I would...
But I also liked Michigan. I like Michigan State over Auburn, too.
If I were you, then I would just take Houston to cover the points and parlay that with Florida to win the other game.
Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Houston, but I'm going to wait. I'm hoping Duke gets an early lead.
So why don't you bet a Houston second half?
Well, no, because what I do is, and this is how I made all my money this year, I finally made money gambling, like real money. Every time Michigan State was down 10, 12 points, I take Michigan State to win. And I did that against Ole Miss. Money. Real money. Quadrupled the money.
I'm proud of you. Look at you go.
So I'm going to wait. This is my strategy.
Was this after you won your big bet in the postseason? So you went on like a spree of betting on Michigan State?
I've been betting. I bet Michigan. Michigan State's a terrible first half team. No one cares.
You bet the over in that game? Was that your big bet?
No. I took Michigan State when they were down 10. I lost.
No, when you guys went to the game.
Oh, I took the over.
That was your big bet that hit, and then you went on a rampage.
No. I took the over in the Lions game.
Yeah.
No, I had been betting Michigan State all year because they're a
know.
terrible first half team and a tremendous second half team. They couldn't pull it off because they couldn't make what is it called, layups. That was the big problem. Yeah, when Holloman's going 0 from 10 and he didn't take one outside shot.
They're called bunnies. They're called gimmies.
They're called the anti-Westbrooks.
What are they? Yeah.
All right. Kendra Middleton is a major sensation. Kendra, what do you have going on? Where can people see you? What's going to happen?
F1 bet. We're going to bet Liam Lawson in the points, -140. A lot of drama going on there. I expect a good race from him in an easier car. And then you can follow me everywhere at Kendra Middleton, except Twitter. I am Kenny with an I Middleton, but follow me on Blue Sky.
All right. She has moved on to Blue Sky. And how about that McAfee thing? They're talking about the 18-year-old girl.
He's such a POS. He blocks me.
Oh, wow.
I'm blocked by Pat McAfee because I said I was sick of seeing him on my TV, and it got like 60 or 70,000 likes, and he blocked my ass.
No? Well, listen. How dare you? Typical lady hating on the ingenious talent that is
It's
Pat
true.
McAfee.
I'm a hater, if anything.
Someone had a great name for it. I can tell you after the break. It was like something clever, but for that whole phenomenon of Pat McAfee. But all right, there you go. Thank you. Appreciate it, Kendra Middleton. We'll be back with the stack in just a moment.
Link between your donations and job creation. Log on to goodwill.org and become a job creator. That's goodwill.org.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you
Or
are.
who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Hey, if your alarm clock sounds like this is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, The Sports Hub.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Which was not a lie.
What a treat for those kids.
It's funny. Zoe's like, Dad, you're so embarrassing. I'm like, it was about me. And she goes, I know. So it was about me. I was an embarrassing thing about me. It wasn't about you. I love you. You're perfect. It was about me.
Hey, gents, love the show as always. Beautiful day for a game. Sun and warmth, perfection. Last time we had weather like this for today's opening day was just last year when the Sox got smoked 7-1 by the Orioles. Not a good sign. Couple other weather home opener tidbits. Average high for April 4th is, what would you guess, Fred?
52.
Correct. Well done. 52 degrees, but today's highs will soar well above the norm to make for a great day.
God, are you so slow?
What?
Average like playing it.
Oh, okay.
Average temperature during Red Sox home openers is?
I'm going to say 47.
No, I'm going to say it's higher than normal. I'm going to go it's 54 degrees.
You're close, Fred. 56. Coldest home opener was 71 when it was only 41 degrees. Warmest was 41. Take that, global warming. 1941 when it got to 78 degrees.
God knows it's opening day.
And the rainiest home opener was in 2002, 0.93 inches.
Well, you all had an opportunity to go sit behind the Cardinals dugout tomorrow, and you got too cute, and then I pulled them off because they canceled my son's game. They moved it to today, so now I'm going.
So thank you, Ken Mahan, lead meteorologist from the Boston Globe.
I'll be sitting when it's 40 and rainy. Don't worry, I'll be dressed for the conditions.
God bless you. That's fantastic.
It's not bad if you have gloves on.
Ugh.
I got another email.
You wear a winter coat.
Yeah, I got another email yesterday I wanted to share with you guys because I'll lose it by Monday. I was watching Tom Hanks' The Americas with my wife last night when we learned that the ruby-throated hummingbird has to travel the lengths of 5 football fields of Cuban rainforest to find a mate. To which my wife opined, why football fields? Regulation par 4 golf holes are a much more relatable unit of measurement. And she instantly became attractive to me for the first time in 2025, and I ravaged her upon the chifferobe.
You know what that Hardy is called an invitation. That is an invitation to a threesome.
So thank you to
If I've
Patrick
ever
in
heard
Saratoga.
one.
I just replied to him, email of the week, and he goes on to say things that I cannot repeat on the air.
Sure.
But, wow, it was so good. Things to do in Boston this weekend. I don't know if we even have time.
We have time. Just
you
don't
want to
worry
try?
about it. Yeah. What do we have to do?
Okay.
They're all. Zolak needs the time anyway.
Boston Comedy.
Is he not here yet?
I haven't seen him.
He's been late an awful lot this week.
Boston Comedy Festival.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
Featuring headlining sets from the likes of Emo Phillips.
Oh my God! he's still
from
living.
UHF. Wow, go on.
Amy Miller, Michael Costa. I don't know who some of these people are. Main event is the competition itself. 72 stand-ups from across the U.S. bringing their best
I know
material
about this.
for a $7,000 first
Is
prize.
this at I'm sorry, is it City Winery?
Various venues.
Okay, all right.
All right, so we know it's going to cost something, but the get-in price might be palatable to Adam 12. What is the get-in price for one of these Boston Comedy Festival events?
$15.
$20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do it?
I'll get into that.
You don't like Emo Phillips, though.
I mean,
my name is Emo, not to be confused with Emu.
I just don't know how Emo Phillips is like this whole thing, like this character, kind of like Bobcat Goldthwait. I don't know how you maintain it for decades.
You know what it is a lot of those guys that did that sort of shticky comedy got started at a time when it was novel, right? So it was like, and they were able to build enough, I think, of a following to be able to sustain it into their later years.
Well, not if he's doing a 7,000 grand prize comedy.
No,
thing.
I think he's one of the I think he's probably one of the headliners, draws, and then you undercard it with the people that are competing. But
if you're not doing theaters, Adam, things aren't going so great.
So 2 more events that couldn't be more opposite from each other. The Boston Turkish Film and Music Festival, which has a free starting price to get in. And then we have the MIT Bitcoin Expo.
Oh, good. Oh, please.
Tickets range between $150 and $300.
Of course they do, because it's not a scam at all.
No.
No.
wait.
You'll make so much money.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, they don't have the market up on Fox 25 in the corner today, so
Okay. That's good. That's a good sign.
perhaps things have calmed down. I'm trying not to look. No, they have not. They're down. It's down almost 3%.
Have fun at the game, Wallach.
Thank you. Looking
Have
forward
fun
to
at
it.
the game, Fred.
Yeah, I'll be there on Saturday. All right, everyone have a great weekend. That'll do it for us. Thank you, girls. I hope you got what you wanted, and thank you to Newton North, and we're more than happy to help you. And Zoe, I love you. All right, that'll do it for